Yo, what's going on everybody? Xander's Vice here, and we are back with some more Punish Grey Raven. I hope you guys had a great day today. Yes, I know, I said I would try to do a double stream today, but unfortunately I got called in for work last minute in the morning, so I actually did go ahead and do that. But luckily they were at least serving us breakfast today, you know? So I'm like, you know what, they went buffet style on the breakfast, and it was actually pretty decent, so I'll let it slide this time. So yeah, I came back, had to wait for my lunch because it was still in the fridge, unfortunately. And then just ate, took a nap because, like I said, I had to wake up pretty early due to that last minute replacement. And just woke up like probably at least around 30 minutes ago, so I'm back. Anyway, where we last left off, we had finally started the new chapter, Echoes Adrift. And right now, it is taking place around the same time that the Stigmata chapter occurred. Again, like I said, I think my confusion between like where in the timeline we were was because of seeing the Isla Kaleido frame in Selena's chapter. But to be fair, we're not even that far from Renaissance du Fantastique at this point. It's literally just like 2 chapters after the Stigmata one, so it's like it makes sense that it's like it would be operational at that point in time. So it's completely my bad for not knowing at what point in time we had reverted the timeline. But yeah, we're back at Copperfield Aquarium, and this time the situation seems a lot more different than before, because what I'm assuming happened for the whole thing with Chico and trying to defend the shore, it probably has to do with the presence of Cradle, Agent Zero, and the early arrival of the Hetero Tower's activation. But seemingly, because it's not facilitating all this at a much faster rate, and because Babylonia's kind of on his tail at his project at Copperfield Aquarium, Vonnegut has kind of had to rush things a bit more than he would like to. And it actually seems to be affecting the situation that we're in a lot more. Because not only is it that they're using Chico in their experiment again like before, but this time, they're actually using the remains of the twins. I don't even know how they had that. How long have they even had that thing for? I'm honestly surprised he didn't try to use it with one of their later creations, but again, I guess maybe his bigger priority was to maybe conserve it for the creation of Chaos, maybe? That's the only thing I can kind of think of, since they could share the same genetic makeup. But we'll have to see. But yeah, seeing as the situation has gone a lot more out of hand before, and with the new frame for Bianca that actually possesses a tissue from the Heterohive mother, is what's kind of going to be the game changer here as well. Because I think that's kind of the lesson we got from the timeline before the reset with Ishmael. It's kind of that we were too conservative with thinking that we can just do what we normally do and get out of this situation, right? Because that was the whole thing. When Lee tried to go to the Chrono Tower on his own, when let's see, the whole thing with Elisa Echo, the thing with the Cradle and Lamia, Aeon Reforged, the Chushukra chapter, and especially the one with like Luna and Nanami. It's kind of like it was just way too much by the skin of our teeth, and we didn't have enough preparation in order to make things go smoother or to have less of a negative impact on the world itself. And I think that's kind of what the difference here is. Even though the situation is much more dire, like now we can't say that the result is going to be exactly the same. At the very least, we know the severity of the situation at that moment in time where we can make a difference, right? That's what I think that's trying to like depict here. And if it is, I like it, because again, it's like Babylonia has always been so many steps ahead of the Ascendants, of Vonnegut, of everybody, even Kurno, who's always supposedly their allies, but always having all these extra little side projects on the side. But now it makes me kind of curious as to how are all these events moving forward going to change? Because again, I'm guessing the next main chapter after this one, because supposedly we have 2 main story chapters and 2 floating record chapters from this whole patch. And what I think this next patch, the next chapter after this Bianca one, it's supposed to be when the Chrono Tower descends, right? Or when it becomes active. And that's why it's like, this time we have the whole team with their brand new frames, with the Omega weapons installed. Maybe this time We can have the whole Grey Raven team go there, and maybe we can all learn something from Ishmael that we wouldn't have before, because again, everything was just so last minute, and Lee was the only one able to enter the tower back then. But now, thanks to the whole thing with Selena at the time, prison, and all that stuff, maybe we can actually have all a Grey Raven enter, because maybe we'll meet the requirements. But anyway, that's still a bit of further way down the line. But yeah, today we're going to continue with Bianca's thing. And again, I am liking how it's progressing this time. Because again, the whole thing with the Phantom Tracer thing just kind of threw me for a loop. And honestly, it kind of took away some of the suspense and everything. I know they were trying to kind of make it like a spooky, kind of like nightmarish area kind of thing. But honestly, I just wasn't really vibing with it there. And I'll be honest, the whole thing with like Chico and Bianca, there were too many, not inconsistencies, but there wasn't really enough like meat in that whole thing, like the relationship and stuff, that I don't think it really held water when it needed to, right? But I mean, to be fair, it probably is also because I didn't do the Bianca interludes to really get to know more about her before entering that part, considering we've barely been on missions with Bianca, so I wouldn't really know much about her past or anything, or how that leads up to how she has to become compatible with these new frames. At least that's how I view it. And that's honestly, like, that's why I was also trying to push more for the interludes for at least one more stream, so I could finish Wan Chi's and possibly do Bianca's as well before this point, but unfortunately I didn't get that to happen. So yeah, anyway, I've been yapping for too long. Let's go ahead and continue with the main story. So yeah, if I remember right now, Sylph, Bianca, and Grace are all trying to escape the red tide over in the lower 3rd level. We're in the lower 2nd level, and with Lulu, hopefully we'll be able to meet them in the middle. That's what we're trying to see. But again, it's like, I'm trying to figure out what would Lulu's presence here change now as well, because like I said, she wasn't here before, so I don't know what changed to make that happen. Maybe she was following someone else's trail and that led her to here compared to before. I'm not exactly sure. And also, Chico's behavior and her transformation is a lot more different than what it was prior to the shift. But again, makes sense because this time they're actually also using the remains of the twins. Over here, there's another one. Before connecting the lower 2nd and 3rd levels, the female console quickly bends down, picking up another metal pebble, describing rune symbols. That's so like Grace. Naive to the point of foolishness. Whether she's blindly worshipping the red tide or just blending through with the most ridiculously clumsy methods. At least it works. Commandant, I hear fighting up ahead. Bianca and her team must be. Drawing her tone vanishes in a flash as the viscous red tide gathers into a thin stream, pulling into corridor ahead. The red tide again. Because, again, this is what I also love, because again, it's like, back then, we had to get scraps of people who were returning from missions and everything, and it was also disorganized then. But this time, we actually have Strikehawk being more involved, servers being more involved. And again, I feel like that's the point, right? Because now that we know a lot of these mistakes and how much we really need to work together, I feel like this is also going to be like, this is going to be more about the unity between humanity, right? Since we can avoid certain mistakes and show that right now, the Ascendants are actually causing a lot more of the problems that actually occurred back then than what they thought was just a game of politics between one another. The enemy's operating from the shadows, truly up against it. Red Tide clearly can't evolve a brain. The only explanation is someone's constantly keeping tabs on everyone from Babylonia. Should we split up? No. Splitting up would divert some of their attention, sure, but it will also leave you vulnerable to being picked off one by one. Let's find Bianca and her team first. Once we regroup, we'll figure out a way to draw the enemy out. Easier said than done. With the red tide this murky, if we try to push through, we'd likely bump into those things lurking inside before we even get a third of the way across. I really don't want to be packed in like sardines from a bunch of people. Ugh. We don't necessarily have to go to the Red Tide. On the signs along the way, it turns out Chrome's theory is spot on. It's indeed a service corridor the aquarium staff uses to get the performance side on the lower third level. So you're wrecking your brain trying to figure out how to get around the Red Tide. Suddenly turns into violent waves as it responded to some unseen command. Commandant, look up. Metal supports. Above the ceiling, the Golden Age metal supports that once held up the domes, staying uncorroded. After testing the weight capacity of the climbing ropes, Lucia takes the lead to leap onto the supports. Let's go. Everyone scrambles across the metal framework, using both hands and feet with the sounds of the battle just inches away. It's a password-protected door. The wiring on this side is damaged. We probably can't open it with a password. I think they meant without a password, but I could be wrong. Damn it. Damn it! The head of the creature's howls practically in her ears. Grace's fingers tremble as she frantically tries to input the password. She knows every password. The water currents, the electronic doors. She burned those random number sequences into her memory during her long hours in the monitoring room. The last ace in the hole, but... quiet static hissing from the system. No doubt about it. This metal door is completely busted. Up ahead, Sylph lets out a muffled groan. Clutching a dagger between her teeth, she rips off a piece of her clothing, ties it tightly around her injured joint, just barely stemming the flow of vital fluid. There just has to be a way. Clumsy fingers, she wrenches the wire ends on the metal door, trying to rig different colored wires together. She's seen Lulu do when repairing vehicles, hoping that the system might kick to life. Electrical sparks fly for the circuits, and even the white noise vanishes. How could this be? No. Impossible. This mind isn't just on the verge of breaking. It's already plummeted straight into despair. Behind her lies the unconscious Bianca, and the door won't budge. While ahead, Sylph is fighting a swarm of header creatures all by herself. Below, the red tide keeps spreading upward, already touching Sylph's feet. Lady Grace. Who's there? Shiver staring at disbelief in the red tide. Marvin? Lady Revelationist. This is rebirth. The red tide. No. This can't be happening. Lady Revelationist, you tricked me again. No, that's not true. How could this? She shakes her hand, despair gnawing at her hands trembling at the crowbar. Has no idea where or if she should even strike. Within the red tide, there's rebirth. The red tide projections are a grotesque mess. Faces constantly morphing, voices shifting and swirling. The red tide of salvation welcomes you. The false deity pulls the strings of a hollow chorus, coaxing desperate followers down the road to damnation. This is a world of happiness, Grace. Lady Revelationist, don't you remember? Do you remember what you once described? The future. As the pupils blow wide as her mind floods with echoes, voices of her followers and the rebirth she once promised them. Of course. The rebirth within the red tide is beautiful. Anyone who passes the trials earns the right to rebirth, and then we'll all step into a beautiful new world together. Rebirth. If she really could cast aside all the suffering and enter the red tide. Grace's lips tremble as her fingers slowly glide down the metal door. A reborn world with no endless running, no corrupted or monsters, and certainly no death. If we believe in the God of the red tide, he will guide us to happiness beyond. If only. Red tide projections twist and beckon to her. She sees so many familiar faces: Marvin, Miller, Smoker. Beyond them, a world without the corrupted, without constructs. Sylph throws her dagger, pinning the header creature that started climbing her leg to the ground. Jolted by Sylph's cry of pain, Grace instinctively clenches her fist as if to break free from the Phantom's pull. Sharp pain shoots through her palm. It's the last rune pebble tucked away in her pocket. But her rune is now stained with blood from her palm, with the engraved letter M time to stand up with stark clarity. Manaz humanity. You're really important. It's like a bucket of ice-cold water just got dumped over her head. She's never felt such clarity before. She's put her faith in Red Tide, trusting that past lives reside within it. She believes in life even more. She believes in a future where life itself exists. Get away from me! He grips the crowbar for dear life, swinging it wildly to find out the projections appearing in the Red Tide. False God, you're unworthy. The door groans loudly. Someone's trying to pry it open from the other side. Seeing this, Grace, who just chased off the projections in front of her, frantically lifts her crowbar and whips it toward the door behind her. Unworthy to proclaim the future of the Scarlet Revelation. Grace can't stop her swing. Sharpened ever crowbar plunges straight down toward Lulu, standing right in its path. So violent. Good thing I was on guard. Surviving hetero creatures only to get bashed by you would be a pretty embarrassing way to go. Lulu coughs up some vital fluid that's leaked from an overload. Kicks the metal door with her foot. A relic from the Golden Age? Is it really that well built? Took so many constructs just to smash through. Lulu, did the Red Tide also get you? No way. Don't say such gross stuff. It's really me. It's really me. Stop pinching my face. The day she stares at the busted door. The Babylonian constructs who just burst in, the human commandant. It's like she's been pulled from treacherous waters, falling back on the warm, dry shores of reality. Bianca! The moment you burst in, you see Bianca with her eyes tightly shut. Severe punishing virus corruption. Already at a critical threshold. Her mind has gone seriously off kilter. Prepare for deep mind connection. Equipment is quickly calibrated. In no time to find a safer spot, you immediately start a deep mind connection. The mind beacon cuts through her mind, now riddled with holes from the punishing virus's corruption, as chaotic twisted memories flash before your eyes. Nightmarish shadows tear you every step, incoherent whispers spilling from their lips. Tropical fish twist into grotesque forms, screaming and wailing. Bianca? As you dodge the sharp mental spikes, countless voices blend together. Witch. Bloodstained devil. Self-righteous phonies. It's me! Commandant? A weak voice echoes from the depths of her mind. Bianca! Just as you reach out to grasp her, the deep mind connection abruptly cuts off. The corruption's too severe. She forcefully ended the connection. You okay? Commandant. We found traces of ascendants. Besides the one named Lithos, there could be others. They were in charge of the monitoring room and are constantly pumping red tide through the drainage system, blocking our way. Chico's likely been taken by them. Vital fluid wells up from the corner of her mouth. We'll talk later. There's no time. We need to find them. Fast. The red tide mutated by these ascendants can melt constructs. I'm worried. The more constructs it absorbs, the stronger the monster its spawn becomes. And there's Scarlet Revelation. Struggles to spread out the vital fluid filling her mouth. We got most of the Scarlet Revelation followers now. Sylph will show you the way to them. Got it. Her mind deviation is getting worse. This isn't looking good. Asma said a support team is on their way with Bianca's new frame. She can hold out until the frame replacement it might ease the punishing virus corruption in the stigmata frame. At least take the edge off. Go back the way we came? No chance of that. Bianca said the Ascendants are in charge of the monitoring room. Then they've most likely already blocked off our original path. Got no choice but to... They're from Babylonia. Grey Raven Commandant. Hearing all the noise, survivors who scattered during the Red Tide assault start helping each other out, Archie making their way over here. Quick head count shows at least a dozen of people. Only 3.5 of them are still mobile. 3 are the fastest runners among the followers, and the half is Sylph, who subtly insists she can still move. Let's split up, Commandant. You and Lucia take Bianca and head out first. I'll stay behind with Scarlet Revelation Construct to clear the obstacles and wait for backup. He always takes the rear guard, but this seems to be Chrome's go-to in his crisis management playbook. He's used to shouldering the danger himself. Yeah, but I mean, he can take it. Chrome's legit. There are too many wounded here for you to handle alone. I'll stay with them. Even with your help, it'd still be tough to handle everything. With the Ascendants looking, we can't tend to this many wounded. Yeah, because if it was just the hetero creatures, that'd be one thing, but more than one Ascendant? I don't like those odds. Is it Babylonia? Hello? It's Karenina. Karenina? Can you hurry it up already? You're in the way. Fades out of the metal hull, impact drifts through the terminal. Is Commander Nicola with you? I'm not on Babylonia. Teddy just hacked your terminal to set up this short-range comms channel. It only works so far. You're welcome. Short range? Are you at the aquarium right now? Thanks to you, Captain Karenina. I'm telling you again, don't just stop moving. Isn't this the spot you marked? We need to turn now. So noisy. In the squabbling, you can make out the sound of running water and metallic clanging. Are you in the ventilation ducts? Clever. The lower first level is totally collapsed. Like two mechanical monsters duked it out and then self-destructed together. There's rebar and the red tide everywhere. But the good news is, thanks to this disaster, there's hardly any hetero creatures left on the lower first floor. And the Ascendants couldn't possibly stick around there either, unless they've already become one with the red tide. The engineering force hauled its construction machinery from the nearby conservation area, zeroed in on the target, and dug straight through the lower first level ceiling. The lower second level is completely swamped with seawater and choked with the red tide, so getting in there is a real nightmare. So right now, we're in the ventilation ducts, hauling Bianca's new frame. He must be practically on top of you by now. Otherwise, I would have been able to hack into your terminal and set up this call. So does that mean we can get some of the survivors out through the ducts? No chance of that. The ventilation ducts are way too narrow. You can't even move shoulder to shoulder in them. If your survivors were all up and moving, it might be a fallback plan. But with a significant number of injured people, it's still a no-go. Parliament's given the green light to deploy the Omega weapons. We're just the initial support. The second team will be here any minute. Hey, don't go blasting holes with gravitational waves out of nowhere. Anyway, just hang tight. Make sure Bianca hangs on too. Teddy will sync the nearest coordinate point as a simple route to you. Meet up there. While we need to buckle down on her work, Karenina cuts off the communication. Soon the meetup coordinates beam to your terminal. Then, Chrome. My bad. Chrome, I need you to hold on the fort here and keep an eye on the survivors, clearing any obstacles. Second batch of support is on its way. As long as the survivors can tough it out in a large space on the lower third level, they'll definitely make it until rescue comes. Lucia, let's go find Karenina. Given Bianca's mind state, she likely won't hang on until the obstacles are cleared. The second batch arrives. No choice but to push forward now. Yes, Commandant. Be careful out there. We will. Let's catch up on the surface. After briefly swapping tactical info, the team splits up. Chrome stays put, watching intently as the Grey Commander walks off. Then he turns, organizing the few who can still move to begin clearing the obstacles. This isn't their first tough fight, and it won't be their last. rebar curls like dying vines, while cracks spiderweb across the walls and ceiling. Once magnificent aquarium is now nothing but ruins. Its inside completely gutted by the collapse. As you navigate the rooms, the coordinates that were once a cinch to spot now demand constant calibration and cross-referencing. The red tide's reached here too, but the range is still manageable. Yeah, the coordinates Teddy provided should be right around here. Let's take a breather for now. There aren't any new updates from him. Looking around, this area feels like a performance hall. Small streams of red tide weaving through it. The water current for shows is still intact. A massive whale sculpture hangs right in the middle. Ah, no, wait a minute. Wasn't there like a mini boss fight in this area before? Please don't tell me it's what I think it is. I'm gonna stay with Lucia for now. It's so quiet here, Commandant. You can almost hear the echoes. Frozen brow, her voice dropping to a whisper. Could the Ascendants have set something up here? Maybe. But Teddy's analysis shows this area is primed for safely delivering Bianca's frame. Let's just hold tight. They should be here any minute now. Suddenly, you catch a flicker of something odd out of the corner of your eye. Spin around and there's that pale girl standing silently at the edge of your vision. Heads up the enormous whale, but her gaze drifts into nothingness. Chaos? Girl looks over. The moment your eyes meet, the scenery around you shatters like glass. That Bianca, a shadowy figure in a dark frame, dimly appears beyond the water curtain. Bianca? The tall twisted monster extends its riveted fingers, gently touching Bianca's cheek. Oh right, this was the thing with Chico, wasn't it? Bianca's lips part, but no words come. Only a broken rasp. A voice is choking in her throat. Please, just laugh at me. Then those inhumanely sharp claws break across Bianca's cheek. Her vital fluid wells up before spilling down her skin in thick, glistening rivulets. Abruptly, your view is pulled to a more distant scene. Its howl and rain lashes down as crimson tens of meters high tidal waves surge from the sea, filling the air with a putrid, fishy stench. Violent tremors shake the coastline as the punishing fires coalesces into sharp crystals, pissed directly toward the Babylonian soldiers on the shore. Purple-haired ascendants curled up in a cold iron chair staring out at the sea. There, a massive pale figure slowly rising from the horizon. That's... His memory hybrid sapien limbs are being graded onto a pale humanoid figure. Familiar hair color. It finally hits you who that is. Chico. It's like a bucket of ice water just got dumped down your back. Without you even realizing it, your protective suit is drenched in cold sweat. Commander, are those visions back again? It's Chico. Chico? Chico was taken by the Ascendants and bred into some kind of monster. But we still can't pinpoint Chico's exact location. This his voice, he yanks your consciousness back to reality. Does this information really come from the time prison? Then if the past has already been altered, the present still unfold according to the events of that past? According to the shadows you once saw, the purple-haired ascendant is breeding the red tide in the sea. Chico is born in the sea, bred through the dense red tide in the seawater. Bianca sinks deep into the red tide and may also transform into a witch. But, under Chaos's warning, Babylonians made countermeasures against these events in advance. If everything went off without a hitch, Cerberus would have already sealed off that one outlet where the red tide would spill into the sea. Babylonia has already sent in the task force members for backup. Yeah, because I was wondering, it's like, will the commandant actually realize it? Like, even by changing this stuff, it's like, that doesn't guarantee they're safe anymore. It just means that it cut off that one path, but that means anything else is unpredictable. Of course, the biggest wild card. the still standing bench in the hall, the badly wounded Bianca remains unconscious. In all your visions, Bianca even morphs into a witch rising from the deep sea, who stays submerged in the aquarium's red tide. Never seen her get a new frame or you successfully reunite. With such changes happening, will the story's ending still be the same as what we've seen in the shadows? Yo, what's up, Renala? What I understand is the time to prepare. Send the Ishmael chapter. Okay. Nah, yeah, it is. Yo, what's up, Renala? How you doing? Okay, but you're on the Ishmael chapter. Okay, well, you're not too far off from this. Can you still see Chico? And prepare for the Hetero Tower? Yeah, because we reverted back to the Copperfield Aquarium chapter, but just brand new. Unsettling feeling just won't shake. Keep frequently checking your terminal for Teddy's updates, hoping to calm your nerves. You're almost here. At the corner of the corridor, an intense burst of electrical interference erupts. Lucy instinctively steps forward, shielding you. Grey Raven Commandant and the Captain of Grey Raven, Lucia. Ah, shit, it would be Vonnegut. His grinning makes it obvious. He's been watching you. Vonnegut? The moment his voice hits your ears, his face pops into your mind, even though you've only met this agent a handful of times. I see you remember me. Good. Something you never saw coming. An agent showing up at the aquarium of all places? Meet me at the storage tank, Grey Raven Commandant. Why? I need to clear some things up with you. I think we should exchange notes. About the tower, about the punishing virus. I don't know what you're talking about. Just dodging the question is only going to waste both our time. The impatience in the broadcast voice grows heavier before abruptly vanishing. After a few muffled deep breaths, it shifts into a cold, detached announcement. Damn, just like Vonnegut, he would be the guy who can easily piece this stuff together as to why is it so different automatically. Because yeah, it's like the Grey Raven Commander still got involved in both cases before, but it's like clearly a lot more is changing. It's like the only thing he can connect the dots as to why Babylonia has been making these moves that normally they wouldn't do would have to be the Commandant. It's an even trade. I don't think you truly grasped the tower yet. If you did, you probably wouldn't be here right now. Meet me at the storage tank. We will trade questions. Trade answers. Those words the broadcast cuts out cold. The speaker's conviction is rock solid, as if he's absolutely positive it'll show up. Grasp the tower. In a flash, those puzzling words click with the inconsistencies you noticed earlier. Does this have anything to do with chaos? Right, because chaos is still tied to the tower. Right. That's probably why we're also seeing those visions, because Commandant has a connection with the tower with the authority he got from Ishmael, and Vonnegut would as who he was as Nemo. Right. Hate this guy? I mean, to be fair, I kind of like how Vonnegut is, because he's not necessarily a good guy, but it's kind of hard to tell if he's like pure evil necessarily. Like the whole thing we're trying to defeat Cradle/Agent Zero. But I am kind of wondering, is like, why is he becoming such an opposing force now that Agent Zero has been dealt with? Or is it just that Agent Zero won't be as powerful? He's an idiot? I mean, how so? I'm just curious. I'm not doubting you or anything. I'm just trying to understand from your perspective. Shards of thought only connect, like a hazy web forming around you, both there and not there. Commandant? Lucy stays on guard, carefully watching your surroundings. Your mind is miles away. Fragmented images and scenes swirl in your head, blurring the line between what's real and what's not. Chico, Lethos, Bianca, the aquarium? Among the shadows you've seen so far, it seems Vonnegut's never there. Yeah, see, there we go. Now the commander knows. That's the difference in this timeline. He wants to ignore every other, well, and is up for idea. I guess I can see that because in the end, I kind of see like Vonnegut, he's been through his journey, right? And again, this is just my point of view from it. It's like, you can't make these kinds of deals without certain sacrifices. That's just how it is. Or sometimes it's more effective to deal with the situation now rather than trying to look for the perfect situation, but it takes longer, you make more sacrifices, right? Kind of like the whole thing with humanity, like sometimes where the survival instinct is like sacrifice one to save the many. At least that's kind of what I'm thinking is like his logic for that. But again, that's just me personally. Because again, I still don't really know what his end goal even is. Because sure, he's going for the one true path, but it's like, is it really that he's trying to get rid of the punishing? Because again, it's like, he is Nemo from the other timeline, so... No, actually, no, because he's still the Vonnegut here, right? It's just that he's not Nemo anymore. I guess it's the amount of personalities he has. Yeah, because I would say it's definitely that. Because, again, it's like, there were times where he can contradict himself, but at least you can kind of understand where it comes from, considering his identity as Vonnegut here in this time period, and then as Nemo from the much more distant future / alternate history. So I could say in that sense, yeah, he would be an idiot in that way. Something's deeply off. Vonnegut shouldn't be here at this time. The shadows you glimpse through cracks in time rive in your mind. Every attempt to dive further only brings a sharp stabbing pain. This world, what exactly has happened to you? And I think that's also supposed to be the point now, right? Because now that Vonnegut can't hide with the whole situation with Cradle and Agent Zero, it's like we actually have the time and the capabilities to face off against Vonnegut, right? The real like threat of the Ascendants. Because like, at least with Luna and her group, we're neutral with them in some ways. But Vonnegut is like, we'll always be at ends with each other, but we'll never actually confront each other and try to resolve our issues. But I think that's what's going to make this time special. Because now we'll get to the real heart of the matter in order to face the punishing. Because again, it's like, we still need to all unite to get rid of the punishing once and for all. But it's just not that simple. Commandant, the red tide is spreading. There's no doubt about it. Vonnegut is the mastermind behind the red tide assaults in Babylonia. At least he's one of them. The story's amazing. No, it really is. Because I like how, again, it's like, they're dealing with things with space and time, but again, logically with pieces that they've already like made as like building blocks for it, and then the discovery of a lot of the other like missing pieces that you would only know because of these certain events actually taking place in which you would need the understanding of it. That's one of the amazing things. And also with the characters, it's like they're not just additionally trying to always just make every single character there just for the background to be like, yeah, everybody works together and saves the day, we're all perfect, you know? And they're equally giving a lot of people / characters / constructs big moments, and the side characters too. And that's what I love, because again, it's like what they do in Wuthering Waves. Even the side characters can have their big moments and their revelations. It doesn't just only have to be the protagonists. It doesn't just only have to be the constructs. This calculated command, the red tide surges upward. It's like filling every crevice between the pathways. Let's get out of here first. So quickly helps up the unconscious Bianca and exits the hall through the side door with you. All the enemies are great. That's what I think. You can see different things in the same character. Yeah, that's also the thing, because it's like, not all of them are just pure evil that you can't understand them, but not all of them are like, they're completely redeemable, you know? Because you all know in some games, that I shall not name, have a problem with trying to make too many bad guys be like, oh, poor them, when it's like, you guys have done all this shit and you're still trying to, like, forgive them for all that stuff they've done. Like, sure, one thing to feel sympathy for them, but not enough to, like, wipe away all their crimes. You think one was a lot more shallow? Yeah, I mean, I'll be completely honest, when it came to Jinzhou, it definitely had more of that, like, not intense, but more, like, grayish, darkish kind of like story element, like with the whole Jian thing in the main story and everything, and Jinxie and Zhongli. But it definitely feels like it's gotten a bit lighter of a mood with Renacida. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's bad, but it's like from how the game was kind of like first like supposed to be portrayed as, it definitely seems to have kind of skewed a bit from there. Don't get me wrong, they still pull out bangers of stories, but nothing that ties into like the kind of intensity and like impact that, in my opinion, you get from punching Grey Raven. Like I'm saying, Wawa isn't bad, but it's just, it can be better. It definitely can. They just need to put in the same effort with the storytelling, I think, because the action, they already have that covered. The animation, they already have that covered. The music, they already have that covered, for the most part. But if they could do a bit more with the story and interweaving of characters, that'd be a godsend, in my opinion. Why the futile struggle? As if a switch had been flipped, countless torrents of water up from the corridors on both sides in an instant. Damn it, it's those bionic fish. Commandant, over here. Red tide propelled by the surging waves forced you two and Bianca to higher ground. Seawater keeps rising. Broadcast pipes into the entire hall speaker system, letting both Karnina and Teddy hear Vonnegut's voice. An agent? Teddy, can we head straight down from here? No way. This whole area is surrounded by the Aquarium's glass tunnels. There's absolutely no exit. We try to head down from here, we'll just end up in the water. Hold on. I hear Lucia. She's close by. No way. The red tide's already in the water. No time to lose. We gotta bail and meet up with Grey Raven. Hey, wait up. Just like Karenina. Action first, questions later. Gotta love her. I promise that the characters are only connected to their story. Every zone introduces a different character, and the older was this. No, you know what? I can actually kind of agree with that, because yeah, don't get me wrong. It's like, at least with the one with you, because even the Yuno and Augusta one, you can kind of make an example of, right? Like, I feel like it actually would have been nice if Augusta had been a part of our journey to help save Yuno, considering she's also a close friend, and at least with the understanding that she can trust Rover. I'm kind of like confused as to why they didn't try that, you know? Like, give Bianca some more screen time. Let her see her sentimentality there, you know? I would have loved for us to also, like, learn more about the bond between them. I feel like that would have been a great time to do so. Especially when we were... That part was about recovering, Yuno's existence, her memories, her everything. That could have been potential to put Augusta, but it's like, they literally tried to shut that down from, like, the first, like, what, 5 to 10 minutes of Yuno's story? But again, that's still like a small example, but I have to completely agree. I do kind of find it weird that it's like, we're just automatically closing out all these other characters, like just right off the bat. They were introduced, and it's like, their roles could also make a major impact and stuff later on, when it's like, considering they're not even busy with anything else right now. Like, we can have the Montellis helping us out, or Brant and his crew. Even the Church of Phoebe helping us out in certain cases. Or getting Lupa and Cortetia back with us to help discover the truth of what, like, Fraxidus' plans. So, and even the older ones like Jinjo, it's like they're never brought back again. It's kind of making it kind of seem like it's falling into that whole Genshin, sand pit, but it's like, it's not nearly anywhere there, but it's like, it's starting to show like some signs of it, which I hope they don't fall into. Gravitational waves effortlessly shattered the once solid metal ceiling structure, so they could face a rush of water gushing into the ventilation ducts. Seriously? I was certain that the first characters would be Rover's team, like Grey Ravens. I think it's the initial idea, but they did. Yeah, I was also kind of surprised too, because they literally kind of made it like that team was gonna be our team. Even with the trailers for like when the game begun, I'm honestly kind of surprised it's just Rover on his own with Abby. Because again, that just seems to really mirror the Traveler with Paimon. And it's like, bro, really? Like, don't get me wrong, Abby's at least a lot more interesting and nowhere near as annoying as Paimon, that's for sure. But at the same time, it's like, come on, how come some of these people won't travel with him? Like, you would think like, what is it, Carlotta would travel with us, at least for a good portion of Renacida, to try to actually see what's wrong with it and what she can do with her position, everything to try to fix it from the ground up. Especially when we came face to face with Fenrico. I'm honestly surprised that was an opportunity they could have used to bring her back. And like I said, with the whole thing with you know, and Augusta, we could have tried to bring like Cartetia and what's it called, Lupa into it somehow. No, Yang Yang was the face. Yeah, that's also what I find weird. It's like she's literally the face of the app on the phone for the game, and yet you never see her again after the whole 1 point something story. It's like, why? Like, at least with Honkai Star Rail showing like March 7th in the art, she is there, you know? Like, that's something. Because she actually has been with us for a majority of the adventures in Honkai Star Rail. So it's like, that'll give a pass. Paimon is like, why the hell did they make... My bad. Why the fuck did they make Paimon like the face of Genshin Impact? And yeah, I'm just honestly... Because also, it's like, here we're punching Grey Raven, we had Lucia on the screen. It's like, that's cool. It makes sense. The red tide's in this water too. Watch out. Oh, by the way, sorry for the loud noise. I accidentally knocked over my my plastic cup, I guess. Yeah, accidentally knocked it against the table, so pardon the loud noise there. Lucia. To the raging currents, Karenina zeroes in on Lucia. Two figures over there are lugging the unconscious Bianca, making a beeline for this area. Commandant, it's Karenina and Teddy. Damn it, this glass! Slams their fist against glass, laying loose a torrent of gravitational waves. Hold on. I brought directional explosives for that. When the glass shatters, water gushes out, creating small whirlpools in its wake. The sign for the agent comes to the broadcast. The sign of his frustration with the sudden unwelcome turn of events. Lucia using plume? Yeah, true, but again, it's like, you have to get through the Ishmael story to understand why, so I'm not going to say anything. Welcome to the events. It's distorted white noise, more water blasted from both sides. Wow, nice Carnina. Instantly, water floods the entire passageway. Santos, catch! Carnina uses the raging current to her advantage, releasing the safety latch on the frame transport pod, sending it plunging downstream with the rushing water. The current's way too wild, making it impossible to get anywhere near the transport pod. To the deep mind connection. As you link up with the deep mind, a sharp stabbing pain shoots from your mind beacon. Your mind, severely corrupted by the punishing virus, is riddled with festering wounds. There's a way to search for it, only to be firmly repelled by some unseen barrier. Water blue? Yeah, true. At least the water actually is blue. Bianca, wake up! The new frame transport pod. The new frame. Before you can even finish that sentence, a sharp pain blast through your brain. Commandant? Transport pod. Copy that. You see he shoves the frame transport pod your way. He whips up a quick lasso with a climbing rope. Cinching Bianca and the pod together. The agent lets out a soft sign triggers yet another mechanism. Explosion whips through the air on as lower levels. But the lower third level's outer walls blow apart. Seawater gushes in from every direction. You gotta be kidding me! And Teddy's still just drowning. Commandant, watch out. Follow the current. Regroup. Oh, finally, a fight. Dude, look at how many parts I had to go through since my first fight in this whole chapter. This is the start. But I mean, hey, like I said, the storytelling here is a lot better than what it was in the original Stigmata chapter, so I'm fine with it, you know? None of this whole Phantom Tracer bullshit. Bianca stays on the platform scene, like an electronic female voice chiming rhythmically in her ears. It's been raining around the platform recently. Please mind your step. Welcome to the Copperfield Aquarium. Her broadcast plays smoothly, delivering the welcome message along with a notice that seems oddly out of place. Rain starts falling out of nowhere within the enclosed space. Everything before her blows into a downpour. Fine misty raindrops fall, tracing a cold stinging path down Bianca's skin. I'm sorry, Bianca. Suddenly the rain seems to split open. A figure materializes at Bianca's side, holding an umbrella over her. Chico? With a visible effort, Bianca slowly lifts her hand. The name barely a whisper as she gazes at the figure. This is the last gift I can give you. Gift. As if on cue, a sudden gust of wind whips around them. Even the rain seems to hang suspended in the air for a moment. The train glides to a stop at the platform. What is that? Squint's trying to make sense of the scene, but no matter how hard she strains, it remains a blur. The platform lights flicker out unnoticed, plunging distance in a pitch blackness. Wind and rain howl through the station, making even the steel-reinforced train shudder violently. If you could choose, would you rather be a witch or a holy maiden? A witch or a holy maiden? The jumble thoughts slowly untangle, yet she still miles from grasping it all. Bianca mumbles the question again, almost without realizing it. Yeah. If you actually got to choose, what kind of person do you want to be, Bianca? Chico, where are you going? Me? I'll be staying right here. Chico turns around and Bianca finally sees her clearly. Sitting dead center on the platform, torrential rain collects at her feet, turning into a blinding deep crimson. This is my final stop, Bianca. But you've got to go. You need to get out of this place. Whatever you choose, becoming a witch or a holy maiden, it's all good. The train lets out a tiny whistle as light overflows from its body and the same engines roar to life. No. Wait, Chico. Wait. Bianca seems to have snapped back to reality. She's still drowning in chaos. Shouts out, her mouth wide open. She tries to run toward Chico, but the instant she steps into the current of rain, she freezes. Her body no longer responding to her will. Go, Bianca. Bianca. I also like this, because it's like, it really is like the transformation from like, how she perceived herself as a witch and now to like a holy maiden. Like that kind of imagery, that is something else. Blinding light flashes from the horizon. Bianca's eyes snap shut. Bianca, wake up! Rain suddenly surges onto the platform, swallowing the station hall. Scarlet crystals let out a mournful cry before disappearing behind a current of rain. The new frame transport pod. The new frame! New frame is... Gotta go to sleep, mate. No problem. But thank you for showing up, Renala. It's great talking with you. And actually, very insightful thoughts on Wuthering Waves. Stuff that I didn't even contemplate initially. Guess probably just something I never really noticed until now. It's 2:10 a.m. where you're at? Okay, gotcha. Yeah, anyway, I hope you have a good rest of your day. Thanks, we'll be glad to talk with you again. Yeah, no problem. Thank you for showing up, Renala. I'll be seeing you next time. Hopefully I'll get to see you after you finish Ishmael's story. Before she can finish the question, the intense light blinks out, plunging everything into pitch black. Boy, that Ishmael chapter was a banger. She's swallowed whole by absolute desolation. Rushing water roars around her as tiny bubbles solidify into a screeching death knell. Outside her eardrums, an oppressive sensation tinged with a metallic tank of vital fluid crashes into her senses. Bianca gasps for air as her frame slowly kicks back to life. This place is... Ghostly blue water patterns flicker around slowly around her. As far as her eyes can see, there's nothing but seawater and ruins. New frame. Transport pod. Even though she's not quite all there, she's already instinctively following orders from that familiar voice. Finding the rope firmly secured to her body, Bianca feels her way toward the new frame transport pod strapped to her side. Verify. Rental scan complete. Bianca, captain of the Purifying Force. Identity confirmed. Underwater, gears slowly turn the transport pod doors inch open on both sides. She's seen this frame before. When the Science Council first started developing it. When the Science Council members discussed the frame's appearance with her gaze unconsciously drifted toward White. If you could choose, would you rather be a witch or a holy maiden? Witch. The coating, which is only a temporary fix to stabilize her mind, has long since been eaten away by the red tide. The stigmata frame stood bare now drifts in the empty depths of the ocean floor. Should I become a witch? I can't believe a church raised a nun like that. No, more like a witch. That woman is a witch. She killed Toby. Punishing corruption triggers violent tremors in her mind. Countless voices echoing in her ears. Am I truly a witch? Patches of coating still cling to her frame. A stark reminder of the terror that haunts her. The dread of being branded a patricide. Should I become a holy maiden? Soon you'll be the same as those constructs you've cleaned up. It's the Purifying Force! Those devils! Her hands are stained with the blood of both innocent and the guilty. She still become a holy maiden? Ah, I see. That kind of question. Right, because in the end, the Purifying Force did have to deal with the defying constructs. And if they didn't agree, they kind of were up for elimination. I see. If I were to choose, all the infamy from those false accusations, every mistake she's made, the defectors and the corruptors she's had to kill in the Purifying Force, the humans and soldiers she's managed to save. I am... The world's never been just black and white. The labels Holy Maiden and Witch were forced upon her. She couldn't shake them off, nor did she feel that she had the right. She's grown used to being seen as a lamb, shaped by others, saddled with all sorts of alienating titles. But now, the power to choose gently falls into her hands, on a secure lifeline given by the Grey River Commandant. I won't accept crimes that aren't mine, nor will I deny the sins I've committed. I am black and also white. Ooh! Now that is a visual. I shouldn't be defined by anyone else. Whether it's hatred or gratitude, sorrow or joy, the cacophony of whispers stays sealed behind the curtain of water. I am a holy maiden. I am also a witch. Light and shadow, they dance together, two sides of the same coin. I wield the power to bend them to my will, so I must. In the seawater, she opens her eyes. Yo, that was a cool way to kind of do it. And again, that one, I think, was a better way of having Chico connect with Bianca. Much better than what they did in Stigmata. Much better. Although it was very brief, but to me, it just plays out better this way. Like her trying to be the support for like what path should Bianca choose. Because again, I can definitely see her being marked with those titles as Holy Maiden and Witch a lot of times. And again, she was just kind of going for the one title of Witch just because she kind of needed it in that dire need, or that time of need, but it wasn't really a decision that she had made. So it is kind of nice to see that she actually is accepting her faults and not letting those be the only thing that define her. I really actually like how they're trying to like make this completely different from what Stigmata was. Before it was only accepting the darkness within her, but now it's more so like accepting that, but moving past it. Her own form of evolution. Alright, let's see if we can find everybody.
指揮官殿、こちらでしょうか。
Excuse me.
ここは
Are we gonna have to use the Phantom Tracer here?
こ
Please
の
don't.
痕跡は
Of course.
効果ポットから入手した素減装置を使ってみましょう。
God damn it, man. I didn't want the Phantom Tracer bullshit to happen again. Ah, well, whatever. Like I said, at least they're not doing it too many times that it gets annoying like they did before in the previous chapter.
赤潮に覆われた血痕と足跡。指揮官はきっとこの先に。ですが、何か手がかりを見つけなくては。
Your current location is underground level 3. If you need help, please proceed to the monitoring room to ask staff for assistance. Underground level 3?
監視室。まだ使えるでしょうか。
Ah,
監視室から指揮官殿の痕跡を見つけられるはず。
My bad. Not mean to do that. Ah, shit. Bitch. Gonna have to be very careful. Yeah, I see. Later. Ooh, here we go. Oh, and new enemies? Good.
容赦しません。長き夜この刹那に凝結します。この祈りはあなたの運苦戦。容赦しません。朽ちた天候を切り裂きます。聞きなさい。終末の愛花。朽ちた天候を切り裂きます。聞きなさい。終末の愛花。海洋博物館なら近くに予備電力があるはず。探してみましょう。ここまでは手が回らなかったようですね。電力も復旧しましたし、早く指揮官殿を探さなくては。赤潮、これほどの規模のものを隠していたなんて。 じた天候を切り裂きます。聞きなさい、終末の愛花。容赦しません。逃がしません。はっ、逃がします。はっ、えい、逃がします。はい、えい、はっ。
Yo, you can't say I didn't handle that like a boss. You can't. Like, come on, I did. Yo, let's go. And I avoided getting hit by all the tentacles first try. Nice. I didn't even know that was like a reward or something. I mean, a secret achievement. Am I gonna have to jump? Never mind. As you can see, she's just built different. This Bianca's just built different. It's just that simple. Orienting herself, Bianca moves toward the grave and commands its position. Graham's original drainage system kicks into gear, slowly pulling the seawater out of the passageway. Red Tide, a murky serpent, suffers along both sides of the path. Maybe these mind disturbances are just lingering effects of the severe punishing Frost corruption. Easily, Bianca captured glimpses of indistinct shadows along both sides of her path. In a church amid the wind and snow, she sees herself praying devoutly. Just in a nun's robe, she's knelt countless times before the statue, and is clasped praying for the children to be fed, for people's safety, for God's people to find salvation. For my neural network ran sophisticated calculations, and the conclusion I reached was that even the angel of love was nothing compared to her. I raised her up. Mechanoids have no concept of time, but I found that 9,460,800 minutes passed by in a flash. If only I could see Bianca, my child, grow up. If only. God loves and blesses the world. As a mechanoid, I don't need or even receive such blessings or protection. Still, if my constant prayers and piety mean anything, please protect my child Bianca and all the other human children like her. God, if I ever lose myself, I'm ready to face any judgment and punishment. She once prayed for divine guidance, hoping it would show her the way forward and help her make the right choice. She sees the construct bound by a restraint device standing behind that door, staring ahead with lifeless eyes. This is why I despise talkative people. If it weren't for that useless human waste earlier, we wouldn't be in this predicament right now. What we sell is safety, and safety is achieved by weapons and strength. And what's the most powerful weapon in our era? I'm sure you know the answer yourself. You are my finest creation. Except for that little flaw of yours, your faith, which prevented me from wiping your consciousness clean. But one thing you have in common with the other products is that, like all weapons, you have a limited lifespan. Don't waste your energy struggling. Soon you'll be the same as those constructs you've cleaned up. She dropped her hands, no longer knowing how to offer her praise to God. She prayed countless times. God rewarded her with suffering. She sees that affecting constructs who were also slain. Purifying force. It's the witch of the purifying force. Why? Why are you coming after me? I haven't done anything wrong. I just wanted to live. That's only why I sold information about the task force to... What else could she have done? But it troubles me sometimes as well. Why would I have conflicting thoughts when I claim to abide by my faith? Hands were once clasped in prayer and now reach for guns. Palms that once held lilies now grip a bow. This is why I'm gonna be excited for when I do her interlude. I really want to know more about what happened with her and the father. Her hands aren't soft or warm anymore. They've turned to cold metal covered in countless scars. She silently kept her prayers, while others branded her knuckles with all sorts of labels. She seems to have forgotten whether in her prayers or killings. She's always been the one behind those hands. Your faith is not wrong. It's your faith that makes you strong. It's your contradictions that give you your gentleness. That is why you're Bianca. Which makes me Bianca. Falling in the midst of seawater, she finds herself again. Light and shadow play tricks, shimmering as strange illusions twist and form within the red tide. Countless memories, some hers, some not, steadily flood her mind. Are these red tide projections just hallucinations in my mind? Images she's never seen before flicker within the red tide. If we can still talk like this after this battle, what will you say to me, seeing what I've become? But no matter what you say, without missing a beat, Bianca presses on toward the commandant's location. You would probably be pleased to see what I've become. Ah, after all her trials and tribulations, she's made it. Whether it's about faith or bloodshed, light or shadow, I can play any part. But I am always myself. Female consort, longsword in hand, relentlessly carves through the sealed door ahead. I am a holy maiden, also a witch. I am Bianca. Damn. But this is what I mean. It's like, I'm so pissed there's no voice acting for this. That would be peak. Especially with Saber's VA. Bro, you know it hit different. Remember, don't trust the word Vonnegut says. Ooh. Oh, I see. That's why Chico's different. The head armor shard, right. So that's what it was. Mine feels like it's drowning in some freezing liquid, and a thick white fog is swallowing everything you can see around you. Ah, great. Am I stuck in the white fog again? Not again. This place was a nightmare last time. Or more like an annoyance. It's an odd feeling. Foreign and familiar at the same. Oh, okay, good. He does kind of remember. A white fog slowly clears and a dark mirrored surface appears before you. A mirror? Oh, right, this vision. Reach out to touch it, but instead of your reflection, you'll start to see that white-haired, red-eyed girl who calls herself Chaos. The mirror shatters without warning. Alright, Vonnegut, you're gonna be sitting in your office chair again. Seem to have plunged into a new dream. World woven and controlled by the blue-haired girl right in front of you. She asks a figure in the void. Have you finished it? Did you use the method the teacher showed us yesterday? Scene shifts. Now the girl strolling across what looks like a school campus. The future? I'm leaning toward the Science Council. Or maybe Star of Life wouldn't be half bad either. I'd rather have something more stable. Your construct is just too risky. Seems to be just another day in the girl's life. You expect the stream to be the same as all the other ones, meaning its end in chaos. But just as it starts to shatter, the blue-eyed girl whips her head around and locks eyes with you. Head armor shard. Are you talking to me? She folds unwavering certainty as she stares at you. Take it. The head armor shard. The head armor shard? Great sense of deja vu plays on the tip of your tongue. You still don't remember a thing, do you? What am I supposed to remember? You should remember. Lips keep moving, but not a single word she says makes sense. Sharp piercing pain explodes deep inside your mind. Wait. Looks like it's not time yet. Not time yet? What does that mean? It's not your time to grasp all of this. Where am I? Don't you already know? This is my dream. But you can talk to me. In the previous dreams you experienced, you were always pretty much just an observer. You couldn't talk to anyone in them. Previous dreams? Before you can even wrap your head around why that thought popped into your mind, the blue-haired girl speaks again. It's chaos. Looks like this information doesn't belong to the future, so I can actually talk about it. Chaos. I heard Chaos's voice through the red tide, and Chaos led me here. I knew it. Chaos is the one that's the go-between for me in these memories. So it's not that I'm just... These visions that I'm getting of stuff that hasn't happened yet, that's coming from Chico. Wow, I see. And Chaos is that link that ties us together. Because the header armor shard. That's what's resonating. Time's running out. Remember, don't trust a word Vonnegut says. Kill Chico and take the header armor shard. Please, I know not to trust Vonnegut. Chico's already... Yes. Don't trust a word Vonnegut says. Kill Chico and take the header armor shard. And... Never mind. It's nothing. Who exactly are you? You don't need to know who I am. It's not important. Keep in mind what I told you. You... Moonlight flares violently overhead. Your vision blurs and darkens. For an unseen force seizes your consciousness, hurling it back into your body with brutal force. That hurts. Your eardrums are still throbbing from the water pressure. Your body feels like it's been stampeded by a herd of elephants. Every joint screams in protest. Who are you? There's no need to play dumb, unless you're aching for me to introduce myself again. I'm Vonnegut, an agent, as you can see. This area must be the storage tank they kept talking about. The huge storage tank is brimming with churning red tide. Every now and then, header creatures slowly crawl out, only to be cut off beyond the force field the agents set up. That force field seemed to serve as a protective barrier. Why would he need to protect you? You can talk normally again. I need to confirm some things with you. First, tell me why you're here. That's actually what I was going to ask you. Did you know I would show up at the Copperfield Aquarium? Or rather, have you seen anything out of the ordinary? His tone is sharp, probing. How did you know I saw something? I had no idea where Lucia was swept off to, or if the others made it out safely. For now, you should try to buy some time. What did you see? Then you've got to answer my first question. Go on. Ask it. Why did you bring the red tide into the aquarium? To breed hetero creatures. The red tide helps the sacrifice get reborn. You've already seen what it does. But shouldn't agents obtain their subordinates through the filtering? Those cannot be called subordinates. And that makes it your second question now. Yeah, because that's the thing, it's like, isn't it usually better just to get agents? Getting failed experiments like that, what would that really give him? Well, then again, I guess it's more like just testing it, right? Because it's like, if he can do it with basic stuff, then it should be much easier to do it with advanced species or projects or test subjects. Or you could just toss me into the red tide. For some reason, you're getting a weird sense of deja vu. So I told you that Vonnegut's real game isn't just to dump you in the red tide and turn you into some gurgling blob of goo. Yeah, because that was also the thing. It's like, that was a last resort that I pulled off to stop Agent Zero, if I remember correctly. Or the red tide. Because yeah, it wouldn't be that simple, because he still needs me. The ascendants in relation to agents do not fall under subordinates. Agents only possess the opportunity to present them with choices, but the power to decide always lies in their own hands. Yeah, that's true, because it's like, that's the real evolution, right? Becoming an ascendant is one thing, but that's just getting you to the starting line with AskNet. To really evolve, you had to become an agent. But only those who have made it far enough will be presented the opportunity, like Alpha. What the agents filter out are simply those still capable of walking this path. But enough. I'll say no more. Now, tell me, what exactly did you see? What exactly did you see? Ever since you first heard about the Copperfield Aquarium, that odd sense of deja vus kept reoccurring inexplicably, along with fleeting glimpses of the red-eyed girl, Chaos, and Bianca, who you unexpectedly saw. Vonnegut seems rather fixated on what you've seen, but what part of it has him so hooked exactly? I saw the sea. Just one of the two most cryptic explanations. That's it. That's it. I saw ascendants breeding monsters in the sea, just like what you're doing now. Afterward, tons of hetero creatures invaded the coastal conservation areas. There should be more to it than that. Of course. Said the agent's expression, racking your brain for anything he might want to hear. See, that's what I love about this commander. He's not just giving up everything and hoping it'll work out. I was like, he's trying to trade blow for blow in these mind games. I remember Vonnegut bringing up the tower, but in all the scenes I saw, that never once popped up. I also saw the orange cat. Orange cat. What else? Oh, okay, I'm just fucking with him. Okay, I thought that was like a code for something. Maybe I should just fold you into the red tide and peek right into your memories. To tell the truth, I saw the tower. So you are connected to it after all. What did you do to the tower? What could you possibly do to a tower other than tear it down or climb it? I climbed that tower. Ascending the tower with a mortal body. That's impossible. Otherwise, what do you think caused everything that's happening now? The agent's face gives nothing away as he mulls over your words. The human before him clearly knows something, or rather he's seen something. But what the human just told him must be a lie. A flesh and blood body simply can't get into the tower. To the degree of Commandant's claim of seeing the tower could be a total fabrication. Oh, right! Because I haven't gotten the key yet. Of course. That's why he can't believe it. Because I haven't gotten the invitation that would allow me to get into the tower. And again, it was also because of Ishmael's special permissions that I was even able to continue traversing it and reach a conclusion. I see. That's why that's something he can't completely believe. It's a possibility, but with the events as they are right now at this period of time, he can't accept that yet. Ooh, that's something we have over. If seeing the tower was a lie, that the human truly never laid eyes on the tower. Could it be that the grave commandant generally has nothing to do with the tower's disappearance? Scared of mind, that's how Garbled screams. Then he shoves out the clamor and flips through his notebook. According to his notes, the last message from inside the tower stated that the tower was steadily expanding. He must take over the tower to achieve his goal. For that, he made extensive preparations, breeding the red tide, preparing the key, pushing forward the Cradle of Deep Blue project. All to ensure he was ready when the tower descended. Yeah, because that's what he needed. He needed to gather as much red tide as possible to mutate it into a new creation, right? Into Cthulhu, right? So then Cthulhu could give birth to chaos. So that's why this project was so important in the beginning. Because it's where it really started. But then came the realization. The Hetero Tower had seized its growth. Its connection to his other self and its steps have been severed entirely. What about you? What do you know? You seem so sure of yourself. Something threw you for a loop, didn't it? Perhaps we really can swap intel. Something I can't quite put my finger on is going off the rails. You probably just lost control of it. This world needs someone to pull the reins and establish the rules. Otherwise, if this stalemate persists, it can only end in a deadlock. How is this a stalemate? However things may unfold, it's merely another turn in an endless spiral corridor. Humans develop more advanced constructs, and hetero creatures evolve into new forms. The battle of evolution. Aren't you the one pulling the strings behind the hetero creature's evolution? It's the only path to take, a choice I have to make. What we need to focus on is the future that lies much further ahead. You're looking to rewrite what's to come. The future is beyond our grip. Only the present can be changed. But you do know something of it. Ah, I see. So, where Nanami was stuck seeing a whole bunch of potential futures, like the war between humans and constructs, the everlasting winter, and all that stuff. Those are only some of the outcomes. But there's one specific outcome, supposedly, that Vonnegut sees that it's impossible to change. Almost like the concept of finality in Honkai Impact 3. Ah, I see. He's trying to combat that absolute end. Because all these other ones could be like game overs or alternate endings in like a visual novel. But he's looking at what's supposedly the true end / bad end. But he's trying to avoid that. And thus, he needs the hetero creatures to evolve. But why? The only thing I can think of is that it would allow humans to evolve as well, because the more dangerous the situation is, the more people will have to rise to the challenge. And in doing so, this back and forth makes them both strong enough, so then when the real threat comes, they'll be prepared. Because that's kind of the thing when it came to the Hershes and everything in Honkai Impact 3. I don't think, because obviously it's not the exact same kind of sequence, because back then it's like they only left clues and some relics of the past for them to use now. But here it's like, no, they have to make do with everything in the present. Because right now the present is too weak to handle the true end at the end of this timeline, or this course of history. That's probably what it is. The punishing virus at its core is just a way to pass on information, and I'm always capable of using it to transmit memories. Alright, enough chit-chat. Force field hums, smoothly shrinking until it pins you right in the middle. What are you trying to do? I thought I made my position clear enough. I need your help to break through this deadlock together. Only then can we put an end to it all. I never said I'd side with you. You never had the right to choose to begin with. There's no intention of explaining further, so we continue to tie in the force field. Seems he plans to pack you up and whisk you away. To the cradle of deep blue, right? What about humanity's right to choose? Aren't you meddling with humanity's choices too? I never interfered with humanity's choices. But humanity needs the right to choose. Yes and no, right and wrong, light and darkness, justice and evil? True choice requires the power to actively decide. No civilization or species should have its destiny dictated by another. This world should never be confined to a single imposed path. The right to choose isn't something the weak get to have. How can you be so sure humans are weak? You don't need to stall for time like this. Lucia's trapped by the red tide in another area. Using an outdated terminal to check the time, Vonnegut shakes his head. Well, it's too soon to take you with me. I wouldn't object if circumstances accelerated of their own accord. Fat chance. The bullet streaks to the air, then drops harmlessly right in front of the ancient. Let's go. This place is about to come down. His words are cut short as a whip cracks sharply to the air. Commandant. Yo, that was a cool exchange, though. But again, it's like, Chico still did say to deny his words, so it was like, can that be completely true? I mean, to be fair, like I said, we seem to be avoiding points of true dead ends. Like, the war between humans and mechanoids / constructs, we're having a middle point right now where we're kind of deterring away from it with the Church of Machina's involvement / Nanami. And with the Everlasting Winter, we've kind of gone through that with the whole Imperia chapter and everything. But that doesn't mean they've been completely cleared off, and there are supposedly still other disasters that came about. I think there was like one or two more that's unaccounted for that I learned about back then, but we haven't completely resolved it yet. But again, he's saying there's an even further end that's like truly impossible to change with our current means. It's interesting. The quick beams on the corroded wall slowly running down. The monster instinctively shrinks back into a dark corner, trying desperately to vanish into the red tide. Why are you running away? This is for the best, don't you think? Even those who can't become constructs can seek their rebirth through this project. Isn't this just amazing for humanity? The execution chair named Paper Crane moves ever so slowly with a purple-haired ascendant in it. Short's ground with a soft shriek of protesting metal. You're not exactly happy, right? Everyone you ever cared about died right before your eyes, and you're the sole survivor. Everyone else considers you lucky, but only you truly get what that luck means. The one left behind is the one who bears the heaviest burden. The monster holds her breath, hiding and trying to dodge the purple-haired ascendant's chase. She unconsciously soaks up power from the red tide as chaotic images flicker through her mind in slow motion. Yuko! A weird blurry feature stands on the other side, the impassable red tide. Her lips move as if she's saying something. Yuko? Chico still can't quite make out the woman's face, but somehow she senses the woman is smiling from across the shore. Speak up! I can't hear you! From across the red tide raises a gun, appearing to say something else. Yuko! Easy memory, the woman knows Yuko collapses, hitting the ground hard. Oh, right. I completely forgot. Her sister, Yuko. Right. Okay. Yeah. That must be the other reason that is like, we're kind of resonating with Chico now, right? She must be receiving her memories from that one alternate timeline within the Hetero Tower. We teamed up with her to try to save Yuko and try to escape from Cradle and the Red Tide. In that completely repetitive cycle of trying to escape death. Very interesting. So we're connecting back to that again. Yuko? Sister. Yeah, it is. She's connecting to that memory. Because again, that only happened at that time, but I think if I remember correctly, Yuko had died differently in the regular order of events. You're crying. You remembered something, haven't you? At least I think, or maybe that did happen this time as well. Someone's talking. Nice to meet you, Miss Chiko Kirishima. Since we're family now, there's no need to be so formal. You can just call her Chico or Sis. Let's take care of each other from now on, Yuko. The sound of dripping water gets louder. The monster shivers, reliving what she's been through and all she's lost. We're cut from the same cloth, Chico. Don't you want to break free from this endless sorrow? All you have to do is... The monster trembles as grief washes over her mind like a tidal wave. Your father passed away. What are we gonna do now, Chico? There's a cold sensation beside her. Someone's crying. The life insurance is for all of you. I hope you can break free from me. Stop working near the public dormitory. Find a job that fits you better. Goodbye. Alright, yeah, because again, that was also something we saw. Because even though they did have that, their mother was suffering. Or ill. I don't remember what exactly the specifics were in that Lucia chapter. Every goodbye rings like a death knell drawing ever closer. You want to see them again, don't you? I can't quite access all your memories right now. These must mean the world to you. Oh, is she actually getting these extra memories because of her connection with Chaos? Or is it because of the head armor shard? Don't be afraid. The sound of scraping metal gets closer and closer. Forced to relive chaotic memories, the monster trembles in agony. There you go. The monster lets out a piercing shriek as the mutated armor shatters piece by piece under Paper Crane's attack. Your incubation isn't complete yet. Even if you escape now, you won't survive. Kill me. Not just yet. The experiment will work. We'll have to ride on a higher form. It can always be even better. Paper Crane holds back the weakened monster, while the purple-haired ascendant makes his way onto the island via a hidden path. This is it. Gently and patiently lays the monster on the altar at the island's center. Be patient. As long as the final step succeeds, it'll never hurt again. You'll have a dream so sweet even death can't touch it. Just looks at the monster, recalling Chico's memories that he had witnessed. He must really miss her. It's all good now. It'll all be over in a blink. You're going to be born right here. Red tide spreads out from below, slowly swallowing up the monster's body. Damn. I really should have slapped a propeller engine on my frame when I had the chance. Cornelia and Teddy dragged themselves onto the beach, painstakingly cleaning out the water from their frames. Vonnegut was busy whisking the commander away, so we didn't spare attention to them. The two got swept out to sea due to Aquarium's busted outer wall and really struggled to get back to shore. Oh, that's what happened to them. Well, yeah, because I guess they were above us and in the ducts, so yeah. To think that an agent actually showed up at the aquarium? We gotta report this to Babylonia right away. Especially since it was the Vonnegut. Teddy, find our old campsite. We need to head back Grey Raven up as soon as we can. Teddy? Over there. So waves surge in the distance, building into massive swells. The red tide? How's this even happening? Vonnegut deliberately sabotaged the aquarium, caused the red tide inside to leak out. Karenina, is there something you need to... Agent Vonnegut just showed up at the aquarium, nabbed the Grey River Commander and wrecked the whole place. The red tide spilled out of the aquarium and a huge wave of hetero creatures is about to hit the shore. We're running low on supplies from our initial deployment. We need backup now. Yeah, now this changes the situation again. On the lower first level, the engineering force's heavy machinery has dug a massive hole letting blinding daylight flood in. I hear something. This is the spot. Pours the heavy machinery toward a weak point of the structure. Everybody inside, spread out. As soon as it gets the green light, the heavy machinery swings to its excavator bucket. Let the injured leave first. In Crumb's direction, the Scarlet Revelation follows the injured constructs for the Purifying Force crawl out one by one through the narrow passage. Okay, good, they did make it out. It's in the sky. Thank you for your divine grace. Followers dropped to their knees, tears streaming down their faces. You might as well be thanking me instead. If it weren't for me, who'd even bother with you religious nuts? Blue carries out the last injured follower, huffing and puffing from the effort. We also have to thank God for guiding these noble people from Babylonia our way. It was His divine guidance that led us to them. They're truly messengers of the divine. At Chris's prompting, the followers take turns expressing their gratitude to those from Babylonia. Well, at least it's good to see she is using, like, her charisma to help both sides. Lily rolls her eyes decisively and walks away, clearly not wanting anything more to do with anyone from Babylonia. What's the situation outside? We deployed the Omega weapons we brought. Now... Huh? Aren't our captain and vice captain with you? They were transported Bianca's new frame. Should be with Lucy and the Grey Raven Commandant. The aquarium exploded afterward and seawater flooded in. I'm not certain about the current situation below. Is the batch of backup only the engineering force? How many task force members have arrived? I need some task force soldiers to come with me and... You can't go any further down. It's completely flooded with seawater and the red tide. Karenina, we're Commander and Lucia. We were swept apart by the rushing water. Teddy and I lost sight of them. The lower second level and everything below it are completely flooded. Seawater is carrying massive amounts of red tide back into the ocean. And how the creatures the Ascendants were keeping in the aquarium? They're heading straight for the coastline. Has this been reported to Babylonia? The first batch of Omega weapons is expected in about 30 minutes. Need to get ready to deploy them right away. Please help me with resource location. We're taking a team down to find Lucy on the Grey River Commandant. No problem. Supplies are right there. Help yourself. After that, Selka said support teams are on their way, so we won't be short-staffed on the ground. Look at you, all in shambles. When your consort stands on the ground, a grin spreading across her face. 2 task force squads that divide their responsibilities. Chrome will lead Kamui and Kamu to search for Tristan the Grey River Commandant. Numbers inside the aquarium. While Vera commands Cerberus and collaborates with Karenina to deploy her mega weapons along the outer coastline. With the discussion wrapped up, Chrome, Kamui, and Kamu head out immediately. As Karenina and Vera talk about staffing, Grace breaks away from the others and approaches them speaking a little nervously. Is there anything we can do to help? Are you with Scarlet Revelation? Karenina vaguely remembers seeing something about Scarlet Revelation in the mission briefing. Yes, I am. And I'm really sorry for all the trouble we've caused. But I'm hoping there's still a way for us to help. What's there to talk about with you folks who still think they're God after arresting you? If you're itching to help, go pray by the shore and see if your God can actually stop the red tide from spreading. Praying is just one way to find comfort. We can do much more than that. Whether it's God or the red tide, our faith just grew out of our powerlessness. I used to think we weren't meant to become constructs. We were helpless against those monsters, and all we could do was run. But she's seen humans fight desperately along against impossible odds, and constructs shield their comrades even when badly injured. Without weapons, they brawl with fists, lash out with kicks. When all else fails, they fight tooth and nail. As long as they're still breathing, they just keep fighting. If they can fight like that, why can't Scarlet Revelation? Why can't Scarlet Revelation be like them, throwing everything we have at fighting for a future that's ours? Fingers tied around the metal rune, grooves on the M symbol biting into her palm like a vow. And as humanity, you're really important. No matter what it is, please let us fight with you. With things as they are, we got a transport vacuum on the western coast. Can you help get supplies over to the west side so the engineering force can get the Omega weapons set up? Of course. Hold on a minute. Can you guarantee your followers won't stir up any trouble? That they won't just make off with the supplies halfway through? You have my word. I just went without missing a beat. I'll tell them this is a test straight from God. That if they pass it, they'll achieve true rebirth. Damn, look at Grace. Yeah, look at Grace actually being helpful like that. Because again, back then it's like all she did was fight, but it's like this time she's actually like helping in our operations. Ah, great. Escape the aquarium. Vonnegut barely dodges another strike from Bianca's blade, his brow furrowing just a touch. Another unexpected twist, totally off his radar. The feeling of things going completely haywire washes over him all over again. He's never once seen this particular frame of Bianca in any of the old records. Give the agent no quarter, Bianca whips her sword into a flexible lash, his tips leaving stinging after images as it snaps directly in Vonnegut's side. Wait, has he generally never seen it before? Or is his mind already playing tricks on him from the Heterotower's disappearance? As he remains lost in thought, Bianca's lash blade cracks from a distance. Doesn't manage to dodge in time, and a bloody gash rips across his cheek. Damn, so even he can be shocked. Interesting. So again, new possibilities that neither side can predict. Because for us, the side we couldn't predict was the mutation of Chico. For Vonnegut, it's the new support. Very interesting. Again, the evolution on both sides reaching even greater heights than before. Sharp sting yanks him back to reality. Quick calculation drops the force field he was holding. Instead of pressing her attack, Bianca wheels around, darting toward you. But Bianca quickly link up, and with the longsword in hand, she once again confronts Vonica. If you two are so set on this... Sees a flick a switch and the ground shudders. The red tide turns into storage tank as other creatures thrash and mass beneath its surface. I wouldn't mind keeping both of you here for good. This isn't the right time to get into a drawn-out fight with these two. The backup is already secured. Never could throw a wrench in his plans, even if the grave were commanded by Zetas in this aquarium. Wait, even then? But how? Did he get a new core? Or did he already get the cloning information from me? From Kurino? Where they came from is totally wrecked by the agent. If they try to escape through that shortcut, they'll just run straight into a fully grown Chico. Or drown all the haywire seeds together in this aquarium that's about to crash. What a shame. Bianca's sticking around to hear more. The lash blade snaps through the air with precision. It was getting slicker thanks to the mind connection. Catching the grave commanded here was just a spur-of-the-moment idea. He's got plenty of aces up his sleeve. If against the formidable Bianca, the agent has no stomach for a drawn-out fight and just turns to bail. Only after making sure Vonica is fresh out of tricks does Bianca finally put her weapon away. Commandant, are you hurt anywhere? She nervously scans the health readings. I'm okay. Your frame. Pressing the port on your protective suit, you feel the cold serum shoot into your bloodstream, holding your mind. I switched to the grip scoop frame. It's working perfectly fine. Pulling off a performance like this with just a few adaptation tests. That's Asimov for you. But the frame still has its limits. Yes, I've noticed it. This frame requires external equipment mounted on the cub to function. It's on a time limit. In battle, it can last about 5 hours. That's enough. This window is all I need to get you out of here. How did you get in here? We still are back that way? I'm afraid not. By the time I came to, I was already in the sea. I followed the red tide's leakage and swam in through the busted exterior wall on the aquarium's lower 3rd level. Constructs can still move in red tide, corrupted seawater, but... Right. There's no other way out. There is another option. During my sweep of the aquarium, I found a passage inside that goes straight to a nearby town. Even though I heard the underground passage caved in, maybe we could still... Lashblade swings out, batting away a metal structure that almost comes crashing down on both of you. Let's go. No other ways out. Just have to roll the dice with this one. The path is right ahead.
The道が完全に崩れました。指揮官殿、このまま進みますか？容赦します。逃がす。容赦しません。静寂に切。粛清。容赦しません。粛清。静寂に切。無垢なる茨よ。すべての罪を清めたまえ。容赦しません。静寂に切。容赦しません。容赦しません。逃がしません。静寂に切。
Ah, this one guy had to do my parkour, isn't it? Oh, come on! Okay, I'm gonna have to hold it on the ground like this. What? No, I did it right this time. What do you mean? There we go.
出口はこの先のはずです。私が先行するので、指揮官殿は後方の敵の対応を一気に突破しましょう。 無垢の茨よ、すべての罪を清めたまえ。粛清。容赦しません。この痛みはあなた。粛清。逃がしません。容赦しません。逃がしません。逃がしません。朽ちた天候を切り裂きます。容赦しません。地面はまだ崩壊している。指揮官殿、こちらへ。
Oh boy. Okay, give me a second. Gonna have to hold it on the table so that I can do this properly. Oh boy.
気をつけてください。聞きなさい。終末のアイコン。出口はすぐそこです。指揮官殿、ここが出口です。
What kind of hex is that, though? It's very interesting. For the Crimson Altar, bizarre skeletal rocks ring a twisted, gnarled tree at its heart. It's almost over. The tree's roots plunge deep into the red tide, trying to tie it up or defeat the monster crawl or cradle at its heart. All along the trunk, fueled by the red tide's nourishment, countless solid hallucinations bubble up within Chico's nightmare. Where's your gun? Still with me, but there's only one bullet left. Got any more for me? Forget it. You've never been trained to use a gun. You go. You go. Chico just stands there, still not knowing how to cross that impassable red tide to get her sister back. Chico smiles. Let the rotted wood burn. Except the gun she gave her collapses. Chico's eyes roll wildly as even more chaotic images search for the red tide into her mind. Bianca corrupted by the red tide and transformed into a witch. Castelia in the waning days of the Golden Age. Yuko, who was transformed into a consort, ultimately became a corruptor, causing the deaths of many due to her own struggle. Countless fragmented images all seem to be pointing at the same ending, where she sinks beneath the sea. Ah, yes it is. She is getting memories of that specific timeline, of before the reset. That crystal known as the header armor shard emerges from her lifeless body. Is that so? The vice captain of the purifying force, now called a monster, asks herself this question in the dream. I guess so. Living and dying like that. Does it even count for anything? I don't know. The ocean breathes heavily around them, perfectly serene. At least it's better than taking your own life into snowfields. Yeah. Is it right to take out a Kama who's become a corrupted? Maybe so. Corrupted are cleared. More comrades are saved. Is a death like hers justified? Perhaps so. She's merged with the hetero-humanoid, pushing past the distant boundary, adding information for the future to the present. Human civilization marks this as a new turning point. The world will remember her name, as well as the bitterness of her life and stares out at the quiet sea. Will there be a chance to tell Bianca what I just saw? She'll know what to do. She's the only one who can do it. I don't know. I don't know how many whispers of the sea can drift past those on land when the tide crashes upon the shore. But I can get your message to Chaos. I saw her. She's right here. Chaos? A question hangs in the air as the two just sit by the shore in silence. The chaotic red tide is about to swallow this last isolated island. It doesn't matter anymore. If I can get this information to Bianca, so be it. Waves lap around Chico's ankles. Will my consciousness linger after death? I don't know. Will I get to see those who've already passed? Maybe. Maybe not. That might not be so bad. Tucks her hair behind her ears. The crimson tide completely engulfs us on the island. Then it's settled. Goodbye. By the way, did you hear what Yuko wanted to say to me just now? At that time? Blue girl opens her mouth, but nothing comes out. Just silently mouthing words. It's like she says something, yet at the same time nothing passes her lips. I see. What a shame. And just a faint smile letting the tide wash over her. The sea now lies calm and surface undisturbed. The monster bound to the tree trunk opens her eyes. The fusion is complete. The data seems perfect. With his frowns, his gaze tracing each flawless data point, something feels off, but the experiment succeeded. This is exactly what he and Mr. worked toward? Come, Chico. Obediently following the purple-haired ascendant's lead, Chico settles down in front of the altar. Now, we'll just wait for Mr. to join us and... Before she can get a word out, the monster's razor-sharp limb flashes out. The metal execution chair doesn't get a chance to fully envelop its master before the blade slashes across the purple-haired ascendant's chest. The dose can't utter his sound as he splits into two like a fragile autumn leaf. As if nothing had happened, the monster returns to the altar. Perhaps driven by heterofuture instinct, or maybe a flicker of awakening consciousness, stands motionless at the altar, submerged in the depths of the red tide. As her eyes close, the red tide around her begins to turn slowly. Absorbing the red tide? What a futile struggle. Wanderer steps onto the island only to immediately witness this tragedy unfold. I've noticed the monster's attention as he shakes his head. Looks like it was all for nothing. The monster doesn't hear the agent's mockery. Suddenly, bizarre limbs hidden within her form erupt outwards. The monster lets out a hissing shriek. Her body warps and twists, and the red tide around her keeps churning like boiling water. Lithos. Is he dead? Well, she could indeed be a return ticket. This degree of instability. In her current state, Chico can now serve as his return ticket. But her unstable consciousness was the most fatal flaw in his entire scheme. While controlling the hetero tower, he cannot divide his attention to also manage this unstable return ticket. Wait, return ticket? What is that? Oh, because maybe she can pass through the tower because of being enveloped by the energy of the heteron I'm showing? If he were to use Chico as a vessel and try to continue the incubation of Cadilla. Oh, I see. It's a bit of a shame, really. But it's just not quite there. He's not looking to take this risk. Especially not with things as they are. Take away Lithos' damaged frame, Fonigat logs Chico's current status, and data in his terminal. Next on the agenda is pushing forward with the Cradle of Deep Blue project, the incubation of Cadilla. But first, find out what exactly happened to that tower. Damn, okay. Oh wait, I'm already gonna be at the finale? At the fight here? Damn. Wait, then what the hell is this thing at the bottom supposed to be? It says custom movie, but it's like, what else is there supposed to be? These seem to be like the last 2 points I can get. Unless there's another fight I can do. Island Town. To Island Town. Rusted signpost is nailed to the wall. Looks like it's been neglected for years. Oh, I see. We're at that same island where Chico is. It's a thing. This passage seems to have experienced a collapse. Rubble and debris scattered around. The path barely wide enough for two people has been cleared out. The red tide faintly unfurls along the path. Its glow is seeping from hidden depths. Bianca tightens her grip on the lash blade as you raise your sidearm, of you advancing cautiously down the shadowed path. Commandant, how is there still a signal here? It's a short-range communication channel Teddy set up earlier. Commandant, is that really you? Lucia, where are you? I'm in an unlocatable area. Nothing but seawater and a whole lot of hetero creatures. Are you safe right now? I'm safe. We had a confrontation with Vonnegut. Quickly fill Lucia in on what's happened and give her a rough idea of where you are. An island in the sea. Got it, Commandant. I'll clear out these hetero creatures here and head straight for the island to link up with you. No problem. I confirm Lucia's safety and the two of you press on toward the end of the passage. The red tide's traces. They're getting clearer from here. Vonnegut might have just left from here. That's definitely a possibility. We're almost there. Sound of rushing water grows louder from beyond the rock wall. Sure sign that the exit is near. This is the reversal device installed in the cub emanates a gentle glow, illuminating the path ahead. Gradually narrows with stone steps extending into unknown territory. Is that the town up ahead? According to the signpost right here, yeah. It's a passage built at the bottom level of the aquarium, leading straight to the nearest town. The town sits on a nearby island. There's an altar set up on it. The rest of the text is illegible, Commandant. Let's keep moving. In any case, the aquarium's no longer safe. Have to get out of here first, then figure out your next move. The farther you advance, the stranger the scenery grows. Jagged stone pillars, spear the sky, the base of streak of water stains, years of neglect etched into their surfaces, mingling with the lingering remnants of the red tide. Commandant. Bianca shoots you behind her, sending her cub to scout the path up ahead. As the cub's view widens, the scene at the center of the island comes fully into focus. Some pillars shut out like sharp fish bones, spearing the twilight-streaked sky. The ruins scattered everywhere tell the story of the area's past glory. But none of that matters now. In the center of the altar stands a monster with twisted limbs, torso hanging limp, as if she sensed the cub's movements. Her unfocused eyes sharpened slightly, meeting Bianca's scrutinizing gaze. She, the monster, with the faint remnants of her consciousness, still remembers that gaze. She once walked beside the owner of that gaze time and again during missions, conquering one treacherous trial after another. She once watched the owner of that gaze covered in grime, wading through swamps and sin, still holding on to hope. Killing is evil. Each time I made a decision to kill, darkness haunted me. Many people attribute such sins to external factors. This flawed world, a punishing outbreak. You, Bianca, you're different. The monster grows confused upon the sudden surge of images within her mind. Disoriented, she acts on instinct. Or perhaps some lingering shred of memory begins absorbing the surrounding red tide and punishing creations more frantically. But you'll never see yourself as innocent. You won't conveniently blame the punishing virus or the wrongdoings in this world. Your hands might be stained with blood and dust, yet your soul shines with pure light. That's just who you are, Bianca. So, she takes the final step at the end of the stairway, and the crimson altar quietly transforms into a calm sea. The blue monster absorbs this altar and the red tide of the sea area. Its form grows massive to the point of distortion. Captain, you made it. Wait. However, her lingering doubt is cut short by the monster's menacing strike. as a twisted arm slashes toward his shoulder. A whispered tinge of a smile blends into a deafening screech. Did I handle this mission well? Bianca swiftly dodges the attack. A split second of surprise, she catches sight of her familiar figure. Chico stands right there, face streaked with blood, wearing a surprisingly gentle smile. The moonlight splits across the altar, silver and vast. Oh, here we go.
ついにたどり着きましたね。通路の先にこんな場所が隠されていたなんて。ここは誰であろうと構いません。出てきなさい。
ビアンカ隊長。
セン、はあ、こんな姿で再会するとは思っていませんでした。
笑ってください。
笑ったりなどしません。私はあなたたちの意志を継ぎ進みます。粛清部隊隊長ビアンカ、粛清開始。
ここで生まれ変わり、消えていく。
逃がしません。静寂に切る。大丈夫です。逃がしません。容赦しません。
どこへ行くの？
静寂に切る。無垢なる茨よ、すべての罪を清めたまえ。粛清。この祈りはあなたの祝福。
否定は死にも潜む。水は法に移られた。ダンスの風に
容赦しません。のアイコン。容赦しません。朽ちた天候を切り裂きます。容赦しません。朽ちた天候を切り裂きます。聞きなさい、終末のアイコン。
Yeah, I mean, come on. It was not gonna be the end there. Come on. She was gonna have to have a transform. What the hell is this? Oh no, it's the twins. That's what the fusion did. Fuck me.
大丈夫です。朽ちた天候を切り裂きます。
Oh, this game. No. Let me get. There we go.
朽ちた天候を切り裂きます。聞きなさい。終末の愛花。苦戦。はった朽ちた天候を切り裂きます。逃がしません。朽ちた天候を切り裂きます。
Oh boy, okay. Oh,
来なさい。
doing this right
終末の
now.
愛花。逃がしません。
Come on.
朽ちた天候を切り裂きます。容赦しません。大丈夫です。朽ちた天候を切り裂きます。苦戦。逃がしません。朽ちた天候を切り裂きます。聞きなさい。終末の愛花。容赦しません。朽ちた天候を切り裂きます。大丈夫です。彼女はおそらく自分の死に気づいていたのです。ただこのような結末を最も望んでいたのかもしれません。
Oh shit, I did get both of those achievements. I thought it was gonna be something like countering. The rain hammers down unrelenting sheets. The frame runs at full intensity, blazing with pure white light. And wherever it shines, the red tide falters. Goodbye, Chico. Every goodbye rings like a death knell drawing ever closer. The reversal device gleams like a star. But one final piercing wail, the colossal monster collapses lifeless beneath the torrential rain. Chico, you always did things like this. You acted all impatient, saying the purifying force is just a tool in Babylonia's grip. But you still gave me all the time I needed to investigate. You acted like you didn't care, but you were always the one taking the most dangerous missions. So you still chose the same this time, didn't you? Bianca drops to one knee beside the enormous monster, gaze fixed on those still open eyes. Even at the end, you were still trying to protect us. Protect? Yes. She kept absorbing the punishing virus in the red tide, devouring the hetero creatures spawned in the sea. Ah, that's what Vonnegut had seen. That she wasn't devouring it to get stronger. She did it to stop that same catastrophe. Right, because she saw the future. Until the very end of her life. Babyloni's backup came too late. No, it was her own choice. Bianca lets out a soft sigh and stands up, bringing the reversal device to its maximum. Under its power, the monster's massive body slowly dissolves into countless punishing particles, spitting into thin air. Goodbye, Chico. She couldn't choose where her life began, but she could decide how it would end. As the punishing virus slowly fades away, a crystalline shard gently breaks off from what's left of Chico's body. This is the header armor shard. Don't trust a word Vonnegut says. Kill Chico. Take the header armor shard. The young girl's face slowly morphs into that of the deceased monster, becoming indistinguishable. So, it was you all along. You don't need to know who I am. It's not important. When she left, what was going through her head? A torrential downpour smashes against the ocean's waves, washing over the altar. Header armor shard? Bianca's stunned, but before she could react, her cub devours the crystalline shard that pulsates with the punishing virus. Let's head back to the aquarium and regroup with the others. Right. Prima Consort turns her head, her white headscarf showing signs of burns. She's still Bianca, not quite the Bianca she once was. She's broken free from all the labels imposed upon her by the outside world, forging them into a symbol that belongs uniquely to herself. Let's go, Commandant. Damn. See, this is what I mean. It's like, they did this a lot better for Chico's send-off, because I'm more emotionally attached to Chico because of everything I've seen, with what happened in Constellia, in the future, where the tower had accelerated, to seeing her actions now. It's a lot more interesting than what they did with Stigmata, and I love that. And maybe that's supposed to be the point, right? Like, the Stigmata one is like, maybe they kind of were like pushing things a bit with the concepts, but didn't like follow through on them. But this one had really done Chico's character very well. Gonna miss Chico, man. Again, it was inevitable. That's the inevitability of the timeline. But at the very least, she did choose how she would live her life to the very end. Header armor. The answer is hidden within a secret only the Commandant knows. Coastline. The waves crash in, bringing the red tide with them, as a salty wind whips across the ruins along the shore. Thousands of hetero creatures drown out the wind. Everyone along the coastline is scrambling. We still got things under control, but we're totally short-handed. Even with those refugees and a handful of folks from Scarlet Revelation, we're barely holding our own transporting the mega weapons in the west sector. So they can't spare anyone for anything else. What about Dark Ares? They just got here to lend a hand. Lucy's back too. Plus the other two Grey Raven members who just landed. Keep them busy. Dark Ares already been dispatched to the east sector. Massive wave of hetero creature suddenly appears along the eastern coastline, obsessively breaching the defense line there. Wait, over there. As it does roll across the edge of the beach as several transport vehicles roar toward a temporary camp at full speed. I don't see Babyloni's insignia. Who are you? It's me. My boy Watanabe. Oh yes, right, he wouldn't be in the epitaph frame yet. Right. The Forsaken? This whole mess is a part of our oasis. I asked Lee about it, then reached out to Celica. The oasis might not have state-of-the-art weapons. We can pitch in with about 100 people. Where do you need them deployed? Watanabe holds out a joint operation notice signed by Nicola. Alright, grab the Omega weapons. Send 60 people to back up the east sector, and the other 40 can hold on to the southern sea. The Omega weapons can keep the hetero creatures at bay on the surface for a bit, but there are just so many of them. Yeah, because I guess that's also what's different here. Unlike last time where it's like... back then the red tide hasn't really binded to the point that's like where they could do such a march onto the shore that they could have eliminated everyone back then. This time they are, because Vonnegut sped up the process. But again, that's why Chico actually had to do it physically to give them a chance. Because even though we had more people here, it's not like we could deal with that whole synchronicity between the hetero creatures. On the sea surface, that strike hog again. That he's been directing drones to scan the sea surface suddenly snaps their head up. Small boats slapped together from crude wood and planks, the water like Moses dividing this Red Sea. Bianca stands at about a small boat, a crystal frame glowing with a luminous white light. Wherever the light touches, the red tide in the seawater pulls back. It's the Commandant Bianca. Commandant? I was really hoping to see Xanthos looking totally wrecked. What a shame. Grave of Commandant Bianca, who had almost been declared dead, appear once again, as a ripple of cheers to go to the camp. Just as quickly as it starts, the celebration dies down, and gets right back to the never-ending fight. After briefly exchanging information about the situation, everyone heads ashore together. And that covers most of it. We infiltrated the aquarium but came up empty. All we found was another drainage outlet, just by following the red tide's tracks. Kamu did spot a sign of lower-level passage, though we never found the actual entry point. Still, we assumed the island was somewhere near the aquarium's vicinity. After assembling the small boat, we scouted the likely direction, and got lucky running into Bianca and Commandant. What could have been much worse? At least everyone's in one piece. And now, that's around, and pretty much everyone's already knows the changes happening on the sea surface. The Krebs-School frame can disperse the punishing virus. The tide's finally turning in their favor. This news undoubtedly boosts morale on the battlefield. Additional reinforcement from Babylonian pouring from all sides. It's finally time for a counterattack. The Ascendants and Chico's suppression gone, countless hetero creatures suddenly swarm out the ocean, instinctively crawling onto the shore, charging into the shallows with the tide, ferociously biting at anything in sight. This isn't good. Kostok, already wounded, can't dodge the incoming wave of hetero creatures. Then the lash blade, gleaming with a solemn light, pierced the creature. Move back. Thank you. As the micro-weapons hit peak operation, the red tide on the surface is temporarily reined in. Hetero creatures are slowly dwindling thanks to the soldiers' cleanup efforts. Strange. There should be more hetero creatures than this. It's Chico. Chico? You mean Vice Captain Chico, the Purifying Force? Ah, yeah, because now she'll be remembered in a different way, right? Instead of just being a failed experiment by Lithos, she's actually the reason that we're alive today. Didn't she go missing at the aquarium? Chico fought against the Ascendant, holding her ground until her very last breath before falling in the line of duty. The Agent and Ascendant made her part of their experiment, but she still retained her own consciousness. At the altar on the island, she absorbed a large amount of the red tide and numerous hetero creatures in the sea. That explains it. The horizon where the coast meets the sky starts to glow with the white light of dawn. Dawn's breaking. The fight probably won't last much longer. Dawn's breaking. Bianca, you can't fight anymore. As Mom said, your frame can only keep fighting for about 5 hours. But the battlefield still needs me, Commandant. My frame reversal ability can handle areas the Omega weapons can't touch. Let me fight until the very last second before I power down. Commandant? Please join me in witnessing this dawn as the storm comes to an end. How can I say no? Science Council 1 week later. There's nothing much to say about the cleanup that followed. Everyone pitching in, the hetero creatures along the coastline have been completely wiped out. Yeah, because also back then, we had a lot of losses / casualties in that battle to defend the shores. However, a portion of the ocean remains tainted by the red tide. It's currently impossible to predict the extent of damage the red tide will inflict on the marine environment, or if it might autonomously evolve into organisms resembling heterohumanoids. Alright. Asmar gazes at the shard display in the center of the light screen. Heterarmor shard. That does sound like typical Science Council nomenclature. Where is it now? At the Science Council. Want to take a look? Maybe I could see more information from it. Stands up and leads the way to another room. Inside its sealed glass container, the Heterama shard flickers with bizarre colors. Distorted specks of light gnaw at your consciousness while golden threads unfurl from some unseen force. What? This can't be another vision, right? Every heartbeat echo warily. Dull drumming within the hollow of your chest. Consciousness dragging into the river in nothingness, swallowed by the cold seawater. Oh, am I gonna see myself in the crate? Oh. Bianca's lantern flickers into focus. It says before you in a stigmata frame. An exact echo of the visions that have haunted you. Together, you and Lucia enter the aquarium with her. Rescue Grace at the Scarlet Revelation, then Bianca separated from the group. She finds Chico and falls into the silent, deep sea. Lithos isn't missing. He confronts Bianca, trying to buy more time for the hetero-humanoid Chico to incubate, or to be slain by Bianca. And then, right, yeah, I was right. I did have to fight Lithos before Chico. Right, yeah, because she wasn't complete yet. But probably because of the Heterama shard and Vonnegut, that's how come Chico's development was able to advance much faster. The coastline becomes a slaughterhouse of the living and dead. Blood, vital fluids, and a creeping red tide stain the waves crimson. The witch slays the monster in the sea. This is... Every scene is almost identical to what you've already witnessed through your visions. It's like watching a director's cut of a film. I've seen the complete story of what if I had entered the aquarium with Bianca. Oh, yes, that's the main difference, of course. Because I entered with her back then, but this time she entered first, and then I went. Oh, because of the visions, of course. Because I had to stay longer to get checked up after the time prison incident. That's why. The time prison alone can't possibly explain this. Look down at all, and the nothingness devours the seabed. Oh, I thought I was gonna see like the cradle of deep blue. Oh, I can contact with future Nanami? No way. Here you are. Vibrant colors of stars pierce through the inky blackness. You. This is a message from Nanami. Visanthos only. The Grey Raven Commandant's eyes only. Nanami. Eyelids feel like they're weighted with lead, granting you only blurry glimpse of the figure in front of you. No peeking, okay? You see it, Nanami's magic spell just won't work anymore. Oh, right, she's trying to hide from the gaze of them, right? I see. But the Heterama shard will allow us to talk. At least briefly. Because again, only exchanging information is fine. This is my special gift for you, Commandant. Though I might have bent the rules just a tiny bit. But don't worry, I'm gonna pay the price for you, Commandant. So you have to keep it a secret, okay? What I want to tell you is, the answer is hidden within a secret only the Commandant knows. You must be buzzing with questions, Commandant, but Nanami can't spill the beans. It's just Nanami's shadow. The real Nanami is already happily soaring through the starry cosmos. Well then, that's it for now. See you, Commandant. Suddenly the star cluster shatters. Countless golden threads wrap around you. Is it maybe that number again? Yeah. So to wake, your collar soaked with a cold sweat you're only noticing now. The Heterama shard exhibited unusual fluctuations just now. What did you see? The words are right there on the tip of your tongue. Can't seem to get them out. All you can do is try to tell the answer by asking your own questions. Have you analyzed the shard? Yeah. It appears to be a vessel, engineered purely for data transmission. However, its encryption protocol is incredibly complex, way beyond my current grasp. The only segment we managed to decrypt so far is this one. This is the gift of the future. Oh! I see. we got the gift early, right? Because it took us till her Star Trail chapter, I think, till she gave us the gift. But maybe we already passed earlier because of this event. Ooh, that'd be interesting. So then we could possibly do even more with this gift. But I forget what it was initially. The answer is hidden within a secret only the commander knows. The decryption code is... Yeah, the number! I called it! I was like, we talked about it being important back then. It has to be important now. The dimly lit archive room. A handwritten file code. A faint sting on your fingertips. Q31206. Memories in your mind are as hazy as if shrouded in white mist. This one message is seared into your brain crystal clear. You mean, you saw the decryption code? Oh, wow. Maybe I did. Without hesitation, Asimov shoves you into the examination chair and conducts another full body scan. Brain activity is normal, and your mind beacon shows no issues. What in the world is going on here? Asimov rarely shows such confusion. I don't know. The after effects of the time prison might explain all this, but is it really the time prison? The biting cold seawater, Bianca's struggle? It all feels too real to be just some figment of imagination. I'll try the code you gave me. If you experience anything like this again, come find me right away. Okay. Well, I can't wait to see what this does now to the timeline. Because again, everything's advancing so much faster. We're getting these secrets much easier than before. Step out of Science Council, your mind's still buzzing with questions. Terminal signals an incoming report from Celica. The military has tallied the casualty figures in the aquarium battle. The numbers are surprisingly low. Cannot but recall the horrifying vision. The coastline strewn with bodies and wounded. Seawater gruesome crimson from blood, vital fluids, and the dreaded red tide. Everyone fighting tooth and nail to survive. Yeah, it was like the apocalypse. But like how the first day of the apocalypse usually goes. Thanks to the quick deployment of the Omega weapons and the elite squad's advanced support, you and Bianca managed to head off the heterohumanoid creature at the island. Casualties from this operation are way below the projected 40 to 50%. Let's talk of an award ceremony. So you might want to get your former uniform ironed. After the end of the incident, even Celica's message takes on a cheerful tone. As you put away the terminal, your thoughts immediately pivot to what comes next. What should you do for the next step? Please don't let me get captured this time. Please. Because now we should know who the traitors are, right? The ones who take me to Lithos and Vonnegut. Should you hunt down Vonnegut and put a stop to his crazy plan? Or dig into the source of your visions and figure out what's really going on? Or... as a mental checklist of tasks starts to form, the sunlight of Babylonia bathes you. Feel the threads of cause and effect weave together, converging into a new path right before you. New future. Oh, okay, so yeah, that'll be the last one, and then we have these extra ones. But damn, I actually got the stage achievement this time. Nice. Custom movie. I wonder what that's gonna be about. I'm honestly kind of curious. At the same time, I kind of want to save it for another time. But I guess I won't be able to finish most of the floating records like I wanted to by a whole year since I played the game. But at least I can try to clear main story by then. Maybe. I don't know. I'll have to figure that out. But again, I still probably will try to do Bianca's interludes. Because again, I do want to know more about her past and how she ended up being labeled a witch. Story. Both these Stigmata chapters are really helpful for that. Q31206. The password is correct. Oh, come on. Through some esoteric decryption method, Asimov manages to extract the information from the Heteroar shard. It remains tight-lipped about how he pulled off its cracking his code. What the Heteroar shard reveals is astonishing. The Hetero Tower core, as well as unprecedented technologies that defy current scientific understanding. Ah, right. Curious. This data pattern. It's almost as if someone began with the desired result and worked backward to construct the process. This approach to reverse engineering is familiar, and yet... Right, because isn't it like maybe Vonnegut was in the Science Council? Because he was saying like kind of the data, like the nomenclature for the heteromere shard seemed like from the Science Council, or maybe that's how we labeled it back then. But maybe that shows that who Vonnegut originally was. He actually was part of the Science Council at the time, or maybe he's talking about Dominic. The Science Council's confidential research lab. Asimov mutters to himself as he pores over the information pulled for the heterocore. So it is also good, like, Asimov is one of the few guys we can completely depend on our side. What in the world is the Hetero Tower? Why would this crystalline cube be called the Hetero Tower Core? Maybe it's the name of a special project. Never mind. There's no rush to decode all this right now. This'll do. His gaze fixed on the Omega weapon before him. I'm not sure why this document's approach to modifying the Omega weapon somewhat lines up with my earlier improvement ideas, but for what we need right now, this'll do. Asimov proposes using the core technology to enhance the Omega weapon and integrate it with the central purification filter, creating a true safe zone. Oh, so creating a safe zone that's independent of the tower's unique features. That would be interesting. Again, a way to finally reclaim parts of Earth for ourselves, you know? We could make that happen. It could actually give us a fighting chance against the Punishing. Technology is quickly validated, and the first batch of the modified CPF cores is deployed to the surface. Commandant? What's up, Bianca? Ever since the aquarium incident, whenever you have free time, you inexplicably start thinking about those visions. We're about to reach the conservation area where we're scheduled to replace the old CPF core with the upgraded one. In the distance, the pristine CPF sticks out above the horizon like a white dove. I never thought they'd send us down together to swap out the central purification filter core. Selka called this a relaxing mission. I figured they just wanted to get some free labor out of us. After all, every squad that was on rotation has been deployed. Placing the central purification filter core is less demanding. It's no simple task either. It's been a long time since I had a mission like this on the surface. Gentle sunlight filters through the canopy, dappling the moss-covered path on either side. Unknown flowers bloom in a riot of color, jostling for space among the branches. To avoid attracting large groups of the corrupted, its conservation area was established deep within the forest. Approaching from this direction, you have to leave your vehicle at the forest edge to continue the rest of the journey on foot. Wait, do I remember this conservation area before? I feel like I do remember one that was deep in the woods, but I could be wrong. It's also been a while since we were on the surface together. So, this really is a nice mission. Hey, how's your frame holding up, by the way? Are you talking about my frame's reliance on the Cub's external gear? Yeah. Once the Science Council pulled the data from the Hetero Core, they developed a new power core for my frame, by combining it with the upgraded Omega weapon and the original reversal device. It's still not quite what Asimov envisioned, but I don't have to stick to the 5-hour limit anymore. Wow, so again, it's like a way for us to advance our technology. It's great to hear. Yeah, it's all good news. Seaside battle, the nightmarish aquarium, all of it feels like a dark dream, dissolving into the relentless downpour. Still some distance from the conservation area, the two of you sit down by the roadside to take a short rest. Commandant, over here. Hidden in thick leaves, a pool of clear spring water gently ripples. There's actually a spring here. Bianca pushes aside the foliage. Spring mirrors her face, still and serene as a windless sea. You didn't get your headscarf fixed at the WGAA? Your frame is pristine white, yet her headscarf still shows traces of burns. They said they could fix it, but I want to keep it this way. Bianca gently touches her headscarf, which is burned during the battle. It's a reminder, you know? To never forget how I should face my true self. You seem different now. Zero, Veritas, Stigmata, Crepuscule. Seems to have changed, yet somehow still the same.
Maybe.
Though a reflection in the spring, the blonde consort gazed at you with a smile.
But no matter how I change, I am always Bianca. Bianca, Captain of the Purifying Force.
Turns around and takes your hands in hers.
There's still some ground to cover. Let's keep moving, Commandant.
Echoes adrift. End. Of course, it's not the end. Monica sits on the couch, scrolling endlessly through his own terminal. The Hetero Tower. You can sense that the Hetero Tower sees its growth entirely. No, sees growth isn't quite right. It's more like... this concept itself has never existed in this universe. The agent taps his pen absently, lost in thought before scribbling a series of keywords into his notebook. Chico, the aquarium, Hetero Tower, and Santos. On the surface, the terms seem disconnected, yet they weave together into the cause of the Hetero Tower's disappearance. I need to find a way to draw out the Hetero Tower.
What about Cadilla, mister?
We'll proceed with both at once. Also, quiet unease takes hold of his mind, swelling until it transforms into chaotic noises. The Cradle of Deep Blue can be put into use now.
Leave it to me, mister.
The Agent of Black looks out the window. Never fails to accomplish what he sets out to do.
Damn, I am gonna be kind of interested as to, like, if it's actually gonna cover all of that or not. Like, what will this next chapter actually be? Oh, I actually can do this now. What the fuck? Oh my god. Oh, am I gonna see the visions of all the important stuff? Because this is the Star Trail chapter, isn't it? With Nanami? Oh, what's this gonna be? Like, just a recap of everything so far as to why the world sequenced this way? I hope it's not just that simple. Ah, damn, why is Liv still just in a regular frame? Why can't she go back to Imperia already? Come on! Give her something. Should I still do this? Ah, fuck it, I'm already here. I might as well try to finish the story. I have like 5 parts left. I can probably finish it. Because the movie. Today's just another ordinary day. Morning sunlight streams into Bianca's bedroom. It feels like I had a really long dream. She furrows her brow, grappling with the remnants of the dream. Too intricate, too visceral. Death, fear, the icy grip of seawater, and nothingness. Like an eraser dragged across parchment. It bleeds the nightmare dry, leaching color from those memories. Fragments thin, turn translucent, then dissolve entirely, replaced by... Bianca, did you sleep well last night? I dreamt about the school field trip last night. Shaking out the subtle feeling that something's not quite right, Bianca gushes about her pleasant dream to her family. In the dream, I went to the seaside with my teachers and classmates from the Babylonia school. We visited that cool place by the water called the Copperfield Aquarium. Saw a huge bionic whale and all kinds of different marine creatures. Does our little Bianca have her heart set on visiting the aquarium? How about we all go together sometime? Yes, let's go together sometime. The minute hand on the clock creeps towards 7. It's almost 7:35, but the school bus comes at 7:30. I'm gonna be late. Bye, Mom and Dad. Don't forget your breakfast. Bianca rushes to the door and grabs the breakfast her mom hands her. Strikes 7:30. Morning, Bianca. Just in the nick of time as usual. Morning, sir. In the nick of time still? Bloody 7:35 in her memory fades away as Bianca cheerfully greets the driver and steps onto the school bus. Morning, Bianca. The blue-eyed girl is already sitting in her usual spot, smiling as she greets Bianca. Morning, Chico. Did you get your homework done last night? Homework last night? Words hang in the air as blank test papers start to materialize in her hand. alphabet scratching to fill the empty spaces.
Of course I did. The last problem was a real pain though. It took me ages to finish it. You finished it? You used the method the teacher showed us yesterday.
What's this supposed to be? At midday, a harsh light seeps through the gaps between buildings. Clutching a Tantalum 193 affinity report, Bianca stands at the entrance to Babylonia's Science Council.
Have you really thought this through? Are you absolutely sure you want to be modified into a construct? Yes, I'm set on it. The modification carries a risk of failure. If successful, you will lose your human identity. I'll be transformed back into a human. I've made up my mind. Babylonia needs to fight the corrupted and reclaim Earth. I passed the affinity test. As a construct, I can save more people.
The staff member suddenly gives the document a stamp. Bianca walks into the Science Council, affinity report in hand. As she steps out of the building, she's already become a construct. Under the midday sun, Chico stands in the shadow of the Science Council entrance.
I've been waiting for you forever. Why'd you go and apply for the construct modification by yourself? Aren't you already a construct, though?
Chico's speechless for a moment.
I thought you would have picked a different path. Your grades were stellar. You could have gone to the Science Council or Star of Life. This is my own choice, too. I want to do more for Babylonia, for this world. If that's what you want, you picked your preference yet? Which force do you want to join? I haven't decided yet. The lead squads are on the front lines taking Earth back, but I've heard the engineering and purifying forces have a lot of openings too. Don't join the purifying force. The purifying force? You don't like it there? It's not that I dislike it. I just don't think it's a good fit for you. An elite squad would be much better. What about you, Chico? Do you want to join an elite squad? I just looked into it a little. Didn't you say you want to do more? Elite squad would be perfect for that. Though I suppose they won't make decisions based solely on our preferences anyway. Anyway, I don't mind where I'm assigned. I just want to do my part for Babylonia.
The darkness of night slowly envelops the world. Bianca walks out of the Purifying Force Captain's office. At the Engineering Force Captain's office? What in the heck? She gazes at the sign for Engineering Force, a finger distance washing over the evening mist. Now the Purifying Force Captain's office?
Am I just tired? Why does it feel like something's off with my visual module?
Presses her forward, fiddles with her visual module, then pops open an umbrella. Having just wrapped up a mission, Chico asks her to catch a movie after she finishes her report.
Bianca, over here.
In the movie theater, Chico's already found her seats.
Today's movie is The Way Home.
An unfamiliar movie title.
Yeah, it's about to start.
There are two main characters, and the plot is straightforward. He's dead. I'm not dead. He's already dead. Delbert clutches a corpse named Norris. This is snowfields. I'm still alive. How do we get out of the snowfields?
Bianca, do you remember when we first met? When we first met?
Inside the meeting room, harsh white fluorescent lights flicker overhead. Is the light on the fritz? I'll have logistics come take a peek later. It's really no big deal, just a tiny glitch, nothing to get worked up about. Let's kick things off with introductions, starting with you.
Me? My name is Bianca, from Babylonia. Alright, next. The name's Chico Kirishima, from Babylonia.
I'm Delbert. My gig is network operations. Norris here. I was an assault specialist with the task force. As each person in the faceless crowd introduces themselves, a subtle sense of unease keeps knocking at Bianca's mind. Chico join the Purifying Force at the same time as her?
Alright, now that everyone's introduced themselves, we can call it a day. You all got the rules of the Purifying Force down?
The captain isn't fazed by the scattered response, just tapping the table to get everyone's attention.
Remember the most crucial rule. Stay away from tropical fish because there are no tropical fish at the aquarium.
What? The voice reverberates, echoing almost instantly in her mind.
Who is it?
Deafening roar erupts as the transport aircraft thunders to the ground. What is this? The world is swallowed whole by a howling snowstorm.
What are you doing here? To save lives. There's no way our squad would survive. Going out of our way to come here will only put yourself in danger. But you're still alive. Where are the others? I took them out. They'd all become corrupted.
That scene I do remember.
But at least you're still here. There are too many corrupted crawling around. What you're doing isn't smart at all.
Bianca doesn't respond, focused entirely on treating Chico's wounds with gel and bandages.
Do you know the captain already fell? I do. So then, do you know we're both being considered for the next Purifying Force captain? I do. So you saved me just to put me deeply in your debt, and then save your strength. We still need to get out of here. Just can't figure you out.
Chico lies on her back on the sled, resting over a bright blue sky and the snow piled high on the treetops.
Your own mind is on the brink too, isn't it? But at least I'm not physically injured. Why would you stick your neck out like that to save me? I won't give up on anyone who still has a fighting chance. Is that it? That's it. You've gone this far not wanting power or privilege? So what do you want exactly? Right now? Honestly, I just want us both to make it out of here alive.
It's a fine cue, the last part of the Sunbreak story.
By the way, is there an aquarium on Babylonia? I've been meaning to ask. Why do you stay away from tropical fish, the Purifying Force's last rule?
Visual module bursts into a kaleidoscope of brilliant colors. What in the heck is this?
Is this like another path that could have happened if certain things didn't happen?
Wait, what happened here again? Oh, right, the thing with Grace. False loop. It's at the movie theater.
Remember that time we met? Which time? The one out in the snowfields. All I wanted back then was to lure you right into that corrupted horde. That way I get to be the captain of the Purifying Force. I don't recall that at all. But it seems someone else on our team had the same idea. He somehow led our team straight into the corrupted's nest before we were ready. As you can see, they all ended up corrupted, so I took them out.
Oh, so that's what happened to them? Wow, a whole power struggle going on.
Why would you do that? Maybe it was for power, or maybe personal gain. That's just the story this era shoved down our throats. I tried to fight back once, but thank goodness for the welfare support we have now. In my grandmother's generation, a situation like this would have left us with no choice. At least it won't affect you two, Chico, Yuko. Just focus on your studies. Don't let me hold you back. Let you hold us back? If you hadn't been such a fool falling for that scam. Stop it. Chico, please, no more. Everyone makes mistakes. If only I'd been more careful that night, we might have had a chance to make things right. Your father will take care of me. Don't worry about it. That man? Take care of you? Let's go to Grandma's. Even if she's still angry that you married... Your grandmother passed away. I'm sorry. Never heard you mention any of this before.
Chico's face remains hidden in darkness, voice steady.
Grandma's death. Thought it would be the end of that farce, but it turned out to just be the beginning. You're basically recording us? Fine. This might prove you didn't break that vase. There's no recording of what happened last time. Don't you dare try pinning down on my daughter, too. I'll pay you today and you can leave. You don't want somebody sneaky as you at our home. I'll send your payslip to your terminal. After deducting compensation for damages, you still owe us $300. Don't forget to pay it.
There were some complications. He needed a colostomy surgery. He'll probably need to wear the bag for the rest of his life. Well, he's already past 50, so at least he won't have to bear it for too long. Try not to upset him. The old man has quite a temper. It's actually why the last caregiver left.
I said I didn't want this. What I ordered was... What? I can't return a drink I've already finished. That's ridiculous.
Ever glass gone missing? Or deduct your pay again? Ask the customer to return it? Are you kidding me? Who'd ever set foot in our place again if we did that? After a life slips by, swept along by the tides of time.
If I could become the captain, keep climbing the ranks, get to the center of power, maybe I could put an end to this kind of life. And that's probably what I thought back then. My life and experiences never really gave me much wiggle room for other choices. Or rather, I never had a choice to begin with.
She could only drift like a withered leaf, swept along by the world's grand narrative into the fierce current rushing ahead.
Then why did you end up giving up on competing for the captain position? Why? Because it was pointless. This world, it's a bitter, tragic mess, overflowing with death, slaughter, and betrayal. If I were to take someone's position, wouldn't she be furious and wring my neck the moment she found out? By common sense, isn't that how things like this usually go down? But she trudged through the snowfields to find me. Right when I was just sitting here, waiting to kick the bucket. I only did what I believed was right. You only did what you believed was right, and that's something I could never picture myself doing. After that, I suddenly really wanted to see how her ending would play out. Her ending? Yeah, a naive fool. Some idiot trying to dig up the truth in this messed up world. What kind of ending would she get? Was she going to crash headfirst into reality until she's a bloody mess? Or could she really live by her truth?
In the movie, Delbert discovers an abandoned rail car, which tracks disappearing into the unknown. Makes noise into the old railcar compartment. The railcar thunders past. In the ruins, Bianca and Chico are deep in a heated argument.
Come on, Bianca, get real. You've been a captain of the Purifying Force for ages. How can you not see the writing on the wall? Shady deals, missions swept under the rug, all those lists being passed around through back channels. You learned nothing from the task force constantly breathing down our necks, the military giving us the cold shoulder, and our own people stabbing us in the back? These are not the same thing, Chico. Confirming whether soldiers are defected, deciding based on their actions whether they should be executed or brought back to Babylonia for court trial. This is just the Purifying Force's duty. We must find out the truth. What's the point of it anyway? The Purifying Force is just a tool in Babylonia's grip. We get our marching orders, we carry them out, plain and simple. That's our job. In any case, we haven't caught up with the target yet. so we still have some time to investigate.
She finds herself hesitating over whether to keep pushing back against Bianca. Even though her decision was already made, stand aside in cold detachment, watches Bianca sink deeper into a quagmire, crushed beneath the world's relentless weight. They chase the defector across the snowfields, battling the elements, driving onward day and night without rest.
You really seem to know this place inside and out. This snowfield. It used to be my home. I was adopted by a kind father in a church. It was just over there, not far away. What about your family? The father was my only family. What happened after that? He was killed by me. I'm sorry. By then, he had already been corrupted by the punishing virus. But he must have found his way to heaven, right? In a world ravaged by the punishing virus? Can heaven even exist? Maybe, but it's better to have hope than none at all.
The campfire crackles and they both watch the flames in silence, the snow slowly melting away. Perhaps feeling she could offer something in exchange for Bianca's story, Chico slowly begins to speak.
I don't have any family left either. My mom was paralyzed. She died right next to me so she wouldn't be a burden. And my sister Yuko. Those memories are so hazy for me now. All I remember was a mission in Constellia. There were these rioters causing a ruckus, I think. And that was where I stumbled upon Yuko. We fought through a grueling battle, and Yuko took the pistol I'd given her and used the last bullet. I don't know why, but I've forgotten almost everything about those days. All I recall is Yuko's final smile, as if she was trying to tell me her death had meaning. How can any death have meaning?
Chico lets out a deep sigh.
It's just rotten wood falling into a glorious age, paved into the road toward the future.
Bianca doesn't know what to say to break the heavy silence, as she hesitates to terminate chimes.
The investigation results are in. It was... Dilliper was corrupted. His mind deviated and he killed Norris. Let's go. This is the duty of the Purifying Force. To raise our weapons against the once comrades. It's also to protect those still alive. Shall we? Anytime.
Pressed through the blizzard, on the defector's trail across the snowfields.
I'm always ready to face death. Ready to face the end of my comrades.
At the border where the snowfield meets the forest, they spot the corrupted construct, the defector looking totally lost.
I killed Norris. That can't be right. Norris is my best friend. I just ate a cookie. How could I possibly kill Norris? You're Delibur, and you're accused of killing the construct named Norris. Do you have anything to say for yourself? I only ate a cookie. I didn't kill Norris. It's mind deviation caused by the punishing corruption. What else do you have to say? And also... What? Stay away from the aquarium. Tropical fish. There are no tropical fish in the aquarium. Oh, was it like her life flashing before her eyes when she was in the Copperfield Aquarium?
Transport aircraft lands with a thunderous impact, kicking up the blinding cloud of snow.
Yeah, I guess it kind of is. Like, it's just her whole life flashing before her eyes. Interesting. Neither tragedy nor comedy, but a story that belongs only to you. Only to Bianca. It's at a movie theater. Bianca, how can you keep your cool through all of this? Chico?
The question is so abrupt that Bianca's at a loss for how to respond.
Why, even within the purifying force, you still hold your humanity and hope for this world. After everything, after being hardly given any love, after being branded a witch, how can you still face this world with such kindness? I'm sorry, but I honestly don't know how to answer any of your questions.
Bianca lowers her gaze.
I suffered too. They called me a witch, drove me out of town, convinced I'd bring them misfortune, that I killed their loved ones in the dead of night. I tried to prove them wrong. I joined Daedalus, told myself I was protecting the city, its people, but when I was called a witch, I truly did protect the church and city. But after joining Daedalus and living in a justified way, I ended up hurting more innocent people than I ever meant to.
At first, she too was just going with the flow, stumbling forward in a desperate dash. She suddenly glanced back. She realized she had made even more mistakes down this path.
I bear my share of sins, but still, I want to reach for redemption more than anything, even if the path ahead leads only to ruin.
She's made up her mind to pay for her past sins. That's what's respectable about Bianca, you know? It's like, she knows she's made this many. And she knows that you can't just necessarily think about like trying to reverse her or just say sorry, but trying to like weigh in her life to make up for those past sins. It's like, that takes a lot of courage and a strong mentality to be able to keep doing that. People usually choose to ignore it, run away from it, or just push into the depths of their mind just so it never appears there again, to try to clear their conscience. But no, Bianca isn't that kind of like escapist.
Even in a flawed world, there will always be those who stand by truth. Even in the abyss, light always finds a way. Yeah, you never really got to choose. No, I did have a choice. It was my choice to enter Babylonia and serve the purifying force. Looking back, I think this is the most right choice I've ever made.
The screen is scared labeled justice besides over judgment. Deliber is guilty. Deliber killed Norris. Surrounded by watchful tropical fish in the aquarium, Deliber and Norris take their final bow.
Do you like this ending, Bianca?
The blonde consort wants to say something, but her increasingly unstable cognition leaves her momentarily tongue-tied.
Whether you like it or not, this movie is already drawing to a close. If you were to be the writer, what kind of story would you create? Neither tragedy nor comedy, but a story that belongs only to you. Only to Bianca. My story. Yeah, Chico's story is coming to an end, but Bianca's story is still unfolding.
Chico's voice drifts in and out, Bianca strains to catch the words. Their attention keeps getting pulled to the pitter-patter of raindrops. Out of nowhere, it's pouring rain inside a movie theater.
How can it be raining?
As the rain falls, Bianca's frame shifts, from stigmata to veritas, and then finally settling on zero. My consort just sits there, bewildered in the theater seat, as the torrential rain comes down all around her.
What if we could choose every turn in our lives? Would we still be who we are today? Morning, Bianca. Morning, Chico. Did you get your homework done last night? Of course I did. Last prom was a real pain, though. I've been waiting for you forever. Why'd you go and apply for the construct modification by yourself? Weren't you already a construct, though? I thought you could have picked a different path. This is my own choice too.
The orbiter train of Babylonia silently glides into the station.
I once thought if I could just weave false memories, make them convincing enough, and let you sleep peacefully in the red tide, in a way that might have been a kinder fate. Growing up in Babylonia, a loving family and surrounded by friends, you could take your time, eventually join the Science Council of Star Life, but you still chose to become a construct. I tried to steer you away from the punishing, purifying force, hope you join engineering force or the task force instead, somewhere you might have found the bonds you longed for, but you still chose the purifying force. That's just who you are, Bianca.
Chico's face stays hidden beneath her umbrella, making it hard to make out.
Chico, is that really you? It is me. How come you're here? I'm here to help you finish the story that's yours.
Chico gives a faint smile.
Laugh at me if you want, Bianca. Laugh at you. I figured I'd just watch you sink into the world's muck, but here I am instead. Let me walk you through this final stretch.
The umbrella's edge dips as the train rumbles by. Yeah, we can skip some of this.
I'm sorry, Bianca. Chico. This is the last gift I can give you. Gift.
As if on cue, some gust of wind whips around. Train glides to a stop on the platform.
What is that?
The platform lights flicker out unnoticed, plunging the distance into pitch blackness. Wind and rain howled through the station, making the steel enforcing train shudder violently.
If you could choose, would you rather be a witch or a holy maiden? A witch or a holy maiden?
Her jumbled thoughts slowly untangled, but she still bows for grasping it all. The younger mumbles the question again, almost without realizing it.
Yeah, if you actually got to choose, what kind of person do you want to be, Bianca? Chico, where are you going? Me? I'll be staying right here.
Chico turns around, Bianca finally sees her clearly. Sitting dead center on the platform where the torrential rain collects at her feet, turned up blinding deep crimson.
This is my final stop, Bianca. But you've got to go. You need to get out of this place. Whatever you choose, becoming a witch or a holy maiden, it's all good.
The train lets out a tiny whistle as light overflows from its body and the engine rolls to life.
No. Wait. Chico, wait.
Tifa seems to snap back to reality, yet she's still drowning in chaos.
Go, Bianca.
Bianca! Blinding light flashes from the horizon. Bianca's eyes snap shut.
Oh, so that's what that was. I see. So we saw what exactly what she went through before Chico had woken her up. Wow, that was interesting, you know? I'll give my whole final thoughts on the chapter at the end, but what else did this unlock for me then? Faith. When you're powerless to change things, all you can do is turn to faith. Outside the tent, the rain is coming down in sheets, going to rip every plant from the mountainside and wash away all the soil. Followers of the Scarlet Revelation are huddled inside the tent, watching the deluge with growing anxiety. Oh right, whatever did happen to Scarlet Revelation? How can the rain be this heavy? Worriedly, Grace needs the linen pouch filled with rune pebbles and silently asks, when will the rain stop? It's a wooden rune representing the letter H. Hail. Delay, restriction, termination. This isn't exactly a stellar divination result. When you're powerless to change your circumstances, all you can do is put your faith and believe.
Even though Grace wasn't initially good at divination, she's really gotten the hang of it over time.
God, please guide us. Our supplies are running low. The seeds we just planted have been completely washed away by the rain. Please guide us and show us the way forward.
She closes her eyes and murmurs a prayer for a moment before picking up the linen pouch again. With a quick shake, she lays the bag flat on the table and draws out another rune. This time it's a rune carved right out of a stone. Born like this, she's simply out of luck when it comes to getting a complete set of magic stone or wooden divination tools. It represents the letter N. Restriction, necessity, peril. Grace knits her brows together as she gathers up all the rune pebbles. Lady Revelationist, has God granted us new orders? Noticing Grace took away her runes, the followers swarm her, desperate for the reassurance they crave. The rain will let up soon, they'll definitely make it through this. Looking at their drawn, hungry faces, Grace steels herself and trots out her usual speech yet again.
God says we must endure. Our current hardships are a test, and afterward we will surely overcome these difficulties.
1 pack of rations, 2 packs, 2.5 packs, 2.7 packs.
God says as long as we endure through this time.
4 cans, 4.5, 4.8 cans.
Smoker!
Oh, Lady Revelationist, do you need something? The middle-aged man hustles back inside the downpour, his makeshift tarp practically drenched.
Do you seriously need to be counting cans right now? How would you end up with 4.8 cans?
I didn't sneak any for myself. That's half a can was from when little Owen got sick and I mixed it with rations to make him some porridge. The other 0.3 can, that was 2 days ago, when Zoe was at death's door with a mild punishing virus infection. She was on her way out and you told me to make her comfortable, so I gave her 2/3 of a can.
Is this really all we have left?
Yeah, that's all. And we got them last month by waiting in line for relief aid outside a conservation area we passed by. But now, who knows when those conservation areas will hand out supplies again. Probably don't have enough to go around for themselves. Grace sighs again, having lost count of how many times she's done so today.
Will the rain stop?
Wait, so what is this? Is this like it's showing us what led her to taking them to the red tide of our Copperfield Aquarium? Outside the tent, a few devotees huddle close, mumbling passages from the Scarlet Revelation doctrines scrawled on tattered paper. Skip right over the chapters on catastrophe and curse instead of murmuring about confession, supplication, and redemption over and over. I have nothing left to rely on, nothing left to ask for, as long as I can find salvation. I praise your holy name, prostrate at your feet. God shall create paradise, shall grant eternal life to the red tide. Thunder crashes overhead.
What a goddamn disaster. How can it be raining this heavily?
The followers inside the tent grumble under their breath, careful not to let the long-haired woman hear them.
Lulu, you're back. How was the haul? You can even call this a haul.
The package spills open, revealing just 2 rolls of bandages, an unopened can of fruit, a bag of food that looks like it's been stored since the dawn of time, means a handful of rice grains.
Here's the fruit of your divination.
Long-haired woman takes a deep breath, clearly biting back a string of curses. But pulling herself together for a moment, she speaks again.
I found my way to the spot you mentioned, right on the edge of the ruins. What a bust, though. This is a tiny refugee camp, already swallowed whole by the red tide. Seriously, I wanted through hell and high water battling corrupted and those nasty, clingy hetero creatures just to drag back this pathetic haul. Your divination didn't exactly clue us in on this downpour, did it? My gun nearly jammed because of it. Thanks for everything, Lulu. At least we'll have something to eat tonight. As long as you appreciate my suffering.
Soon, a metal pot is bubbling over a crackling campfire. Some of the old rashes isn't exactly gourmet, but it's not awful either. Maybe it's that extra 0.3 can of preserved food. For whatever reason, everyone seems unusually stoked for dinner tonight. Before digging in, the followers droned their usual prayers.
Thanking the red tide for what? You should be thanking me. With this downpour, who knows if we'll even catch a glimpse of the sun tomorrow. Hey, why are you pulling me?
The person interrupting the prayer gets yanked aside, letting the rest of the followers get on with their devotions.
Wasn't I telling the truth? That's not it. Didn't you want to tell me something in private? Well, I'm not sure if this is a good idea or a bad one, but...
Pulls the tattered paper from a waterproof pocket on her waist. Hesitates for a moment before finally handing it over.
This thing might have been left behind by some of your Red Tide folks. It's the Scarlet Revelation.
Grace corrects Lulu's odd choice of words while taking the paper from her.
Is this some kind of invitation? So it's an invitation for the Scarlet Revelation members to check out the Copperfield Aquarium. Apparently once you pass the test and hit that place by the sea, you'll be reborn in the Red Tide. It just doesn't look on the up and up. Did one of your folks leave this behind? I'm not sure. I haven't been in contact with other Revelationists for a long time. But this marking, it was definitely left by a Revelationist I know.
She runs her fingers over the paper, a sense of unease washing over her. Yeah, okay, so we're seeing how they exactly ended up in this situation. Okay. Kinda weird that we're checking this out now at the very end, but whatever. The refugee camp might be where that Revelationist once stayed, now already swallowed by the Red Tide. Then. Has the Revelationist already been granted salvation? Or they moved on to face the test?
So, should we head over there? Wait, are you serious? You're asking me? Well, if you're putting me on the spot, I guess we could give it a look. There's barely anything left here, and no conservation areas close by. We can't even try to scavenge for food from those folks in Babylonia. If we stick around, we're gonna starve, plain and simple. I scoured every nook and cranny nearby, but there's not a single usable replacement part to be found. Once this downpour utterly ruins me, we can just hold hands and step into the salvation you mentioned together.
Is that a couple of dry laughs?
What do you think? Aren't you good at divination? Why don't you try reading the signs?
She nervously fiddles with her linen pouch, torn about doing another divination. Lately, every reading has been a bust.
Oh, one more thing.
Before she can finish speaking, a sharp pop cuts her off. A dim yellow bulb inside the tent flickers and dies. She shakes in surprise, the linen pouch slipping from her grasp.
That's what I was getting at. When I got back, I saw the generator, which was working perfectly fine before, was trashed by a corrupted. I tried to fix it, but no dice. One of the screws is glowing red hot. Looks like this camp's gonna be off the grid from now on.
Grace crouches low, her thoughts a jumbled mess. Should they head for the coast and face whatever test comes their way? Don't think you can sneak around in the dark stealing canned food, you brats. Smoker's booming voice cuts through the darkness. The tiny mouse-like rustling stops dead in its tracks. Stay away from those supply crates. Listen up. Those that steal food will never enter the Red Tide and be reborn. No stealing meat cans and absolutely no stealing fruit cans. Yeah, because fruit can be preserved longer, right? 1 pack of rations, 2 pack of rations, 2.5 packs, 2.7. No rations consumed today. Praise be to the god of the Red Tide. 4 cans, 4.5. Had to use another third of a can to feed those insatiable locusts. Only 4 cans left, and the rain washed away all our newly planted crops. Smoker sighs heavily, completely missing Grace and Lulu as they huddle behind the supply crates. Should they go to the seaside? Grace fumbles around the darkness and accidentally touches the first ruin on the ground. R. Carriage, travel, and all your dealings will pan out in your favor. Ah, I see. So that's what was the clincher for her to go.
Why do you suddenly look like you have some huge realization? It's nothing. The Divine has already given me the answer.
Grace lets out a huge sigh of relief. The glow of the torch Lulu finally got lit. He scatters up all the ruin pebbles.
Fine. Never floats your boat.
But at least now we know why she knew about it. Like, the mapping out of Copperfield Aquarium.
Everyone. God has shown us the path forward. I just received a new divine revelation.
Thank goodness, Lady Revelationist.
God has bestowed upon us a new test.
She tosses the letter into the campfire just as the wind whips through the tent. Flames swallow the paper and sparkling crimson embers breaking free suddenly shoot skyward.
We'll set out for the seaside to face the divine test. If we pass this test, we will enter rebirth.
Pressing underground, the followers murmured the doctrines of the Scarlet Revelation. With a flurry of activity, they start taking stock of their meager supplies, preparing for the journey ahead. Grace stands in the center of the tent, her fingers idly toying with the linen pouch that holds her rune pebbles. Zippy doesn't dare perform another divination, fearing yet another unfavorable outcome. She can only pin her hopes on what's to come. Carriage, travel, and all your dealings will pan out in your favor. But there really is new hope on the horizon.
Oh, maybe it's gonna show us like what happened to them after?
Thinking to this pipe dream, Grace follows the old map, leading her band of Scarlet Revelation followers toward the Copperfield Aquarium, a place where people supposedly find rebirth.
But wait, it's like, if they had chosen to go there, why exactly did, what's it called? Why did Lulu feel the need to go and find her again, right? Did she have second thoughts being like, this isn't the right answer? And try to save her, maybe?
I'm kinda curious. At the Sea Among Ruins, Grace and her followers aren't far from the Copperfield Aquarium. By the time they reach the seaside location, there's hardly a trace of other Scarlet Revelation members.
Lady Revelationist, this must be the place. We've made it here, so does this mean... Does that mean we passed the test? No, this is only the beginning. God taught us to be patient, to wait. Is there truly rebirth in the Red Tide? Of course. The rebirth within the Red Tide is beautiful. Anyone who passes the trials earns the right to rebirth, and then we'll all step into a beautiful new world together. This is a reborn world, where there's no endless fleeing, no corrupted or monsters, and certainly no death. If we believe in the God of the Red Tide, he will guide us to happiness beyond.
She crouches down gently past the child's head.
Let's set up camp first. I would have found an appropriate time for us to enter this trial ground together.
Some followers grumble over Grace adding the revelation, or being the revelationist. They wouldn't dare voice their complaints.
Oh, wait, what happened? Did some of them, like, leave ahead of time?
They were supposed to?
Lulu clears out the dilapidated refugee camp nearby, and that's where they set up their temporary base.
We got 4 cans left, 1 bag of compressed rations. Some of the rice the deity gave us can be used as seeds. As for the rest, stuff we can't plant. Let's eat that this time around. Otherwise, there's nothing else to eat.
Wow. Looks like someone's losing their touch around here. They're just desperate for salvation. But something about it feels off to me.
Grace then starts pulling out rune pebbles out of her linen pouch, trying to repeatedly for divination. But no matter how many times she tries, she just can't seem to get a single rune with a positive meaning.
If this invitation is truly for all followers of the Scarlet Revelation, another Revelationist will certainly answer the call. I couldn't care less about all the twisted nonsense from your Red Tide cult, but I'm warning you, you can't stay around here for too long. I checked the surrounding area this afternoon. The punishing virus concentration around here is very high. I haven't located the source yet, but they're definitely corrupted nearby. It could be a widespread Red Tide. I can't rule that out. I almost forgot. That's what you all came here for in the first place. But if you're planning to hold hands and dive straight into the Red Tide together, count me out. Got my own business to attend to. I understand. Anyway, the ball's in your court.
First day at camp. It's dead quiet except for the lone corrupted that creeps up to the camp. Luckily, Lulu takes care of it with a single shot. The rundown refugee camp has been abandoned for ages. Still finds some usable tent materials and food supplies that have been stored for who knows how long. Not exactly a gourmet meal, but edible enough. Supplies are the followers' food situation for the day. After filling their stomachs, everyone's spirit seems to lift as they gradually gather around the campfire in prayer. Second day at camp. Lulu scouts ahead alone, heading toward the aquarium. She gets back, she tells Grace the punishing fire's concentration is dangerously high there.
Not immediately fatal, but certainly a mild infection. Speaking of that, I just saw a bunch of your people head to the aquarium. They were taunting some mystical items just like yours. What kind of items? It looked like a flag that's seen better days, patched up countless times, with all sorts of stones dangling from the bottom. That's Never, the glory banner. He's a revelationist too.
He taught himself surgical knowledge. After saving several refugees, he became a revelationist, urging them to keep living.
And then? And then? That's it. I watched them walk in, and I came back. You don't seriously expect me to follow them in there and scan ahead for you, do you? Did they come back out? At least when I went back to check tonight, there were no footprints coming out. Thanks for your hard work, Lulu. I appreciate the intel. You should know what a single piece of my intel used to fetch back in the day.
Yeah, so it's like, why does Lulu help them? I'm kind of curious. What does she get out of this? Third day of camp. Punisher virus concentration here is just too high. It's only been 3 days, but some people are already showing early signs of infection. Skin is deteriorating and they're having hallucinations. Oh, I see. So they had to speed up. And they probably decided it was better to go to the red tide based on their belief.
No other choice, Grace moves to the camp further back. This decision meets with opposition from most of her followers.
No, Lady Revelationist. We've already made it to the trial ground. If others get there first.
I've never seen people so keen to rush to their own deaths.
What the divine realm of salvation has limited spaces. What if other people snap up those spots first and we're left out in the cold?
That's right. Just yesterday. Yesterday I overheard that woman say Revelationist Never has already ushered his followers into the trial ground.
What? They've already beaten us to it? Lady Revelationist, please, take us to the trial ground. Take us to the trial ground.
Silence, please. I feel your longing, everyone. But tell me, do you truly wish to cross into salvation burdened by sickness and suffering? We'll withdraw the camp for now, but the moment the divine whispers reveal the path, I will lead you all there, without delay.
Followers grumble, but they go along with it. The camp picks up and moves us to a spot where the punishing virus isn't so thick in the air. Fifth day. Can't tell anyone about this, but last night I heard the divine revelation.
You heard it too?
You bet I did. My devotion must have really hit home with the divine, because I heard the sound of tide. Left the camp, followed that sound, and then I saw Lord Never, the glory banner.
What? You know what Lord Never looks like?
Of course I do. Last time Lady Grace brought us to meet up with Lord Never's group, he spoke to me for a moment. There's no way I'd ever forget what he looks like.
What's the word this time? What did Lord Never tell you?
Lord Never says they passed the trial and been granted rebirth. He told me if we step into the aquarium, God will take us under his wing, mercifully embracing us all. There, the line between humans and constructs will vanish. No more stupid affinity reports. Everyone will gain immortality. No exceptions.
But didn't Lady Grace say it wasn't the right time yet?
Who knows if she's just trying to keep all the good stuff to herself? I've already ironed things out with Smoker. Tomorrow night. I knew it. Smoker wanted to. Seventh day. Smoker's vanished into thin air, taking the last 4 cans of food. 3 meat and 1 fruit.
When did you last see Smoker?
It was last night. I saw Smoker leading Marvin and the others, saying they were going to the aquarium. Smoker and Marvin, they both heard the divine revelation. They claimed that by following the sound of the tide, they saw Lord Never in the glory banner, and a handful of the other revelationists right there in the red tide by the sea.
What else?
He asked me to go with him. Said the divine revelation promised that if we enter the aquarium, past this trial and made it all the way to the bottom, we grant eternal life. Said that there's no difference between constructs and humans. No need to work or struggle. Everyone can be reborn as equals. Lady Grace, I'm thinking, when can we enter the aquarium and start the trial? Perhaps the invitation is genuine. Perhaps Never truly has found his rebirth. But deep down, she knows exactly where those past revelations truly came from. Perhaps there truly is freedom within the red tide. Grace of resolve falters. Her next step is clear. She needs to tell Lulu they made the decision to enter the trial ground and achieve rebirth. Lulu would then leave this place, and after that, the stone is completely blank. How? Every single rune pebble in the pouch was placed there by Grace herself. She's absolutely certain there was never a blank one among them. When did this one get mixed in? So when she spilled them in the tent and accidentally picked them up in the darkness? Or blank rune, a symbol of fate, pretending death, but also the unknown caused a change in evolution. Courage to move forward. Ah. What should I do? Will we fail the trial? Is it all false? Will we lose everything we have? Is this truly the path we must take? Clutches the stone tightly, muttering to herself. 8th day at camp. So this is the grand decision you've been agonizing over all night. That's right. I know this isn't fair to you, but I need your help. I'll divide the supplies and leave you the larger portion. We're taking a group of followers into the aquarium. Please help by staying here a while longer to look after the wounded and children. I just can't wrap my head around what you're thinking. I'm sorry. Just consider this my last request after I saved your life.
Ah, I see. So that's the exchange they had. I guess I can see why. Like, Lulu kind of feels pity for them, and they did save her life.
I'm not sure we'll make it back. If we don't, please take the children and the injured to the nearest conservation area. After that, you're free as a bird. Fine, you win. You better come back in one piece. Those injured followers of yours are dead set on throwing themselves into the red tide. I won't be able to stop them. I'm counting on you. When are you off? Right now. Hey, isn't this way too fast? Hope our trial. It'll all work out for the best.
Grace raised the crowbar in her hand, gathering her followers around her.
We're about to step onto the trial ground, where our trial begins. I have nothing left to rely on, nothing left to ask for, as long as I can find salvation.
Just gonna skip the chant. They form into a group, becoming the last team of Scarlet Revelation members to enter the aquarium, the trial ground. Ah, okay. But yeah, I guess it's kind of better to check that now, considering it's all over, rather than in the middle, like I always say is a weird point. But that's interesting. I see. That explains why the Scarlet Revelation group was like so desperate at that moment in time to go there. I guess I can see why. And again, I thought this chapter was way better than I thought. Because again, it's like, we saw a bit of like the whole thing with Chico and her sister Yuko and stuff. In the Lucia story. But I think they did it way better to like characterize Chico as an individual as a whole. Both in the present and from that potential alternate version of the past. Because it really did kind of tell you like how her life was like, why she makes decisions based like that, or like what her attitude can kind of bring about, and how even then it's like Bianca was kind of the light to her, because she thought everything was like there'd be lies, there'd be like complete darkness, or you couldn't always completely trust in someone. But Bianca was at least kind of like the light to her shadow. It was kind of sweet that way. And again, I'm glad that at least in this way, Chico will be remembered for something good, rather than just the whole accident at Copperfield Aquarium. Because again, if it wasn't for her, the casualties would have been way worse, just like it was originally. And Bianca's story as well, to change from like initially being like a saint to, or like holy maiden, to then witch, but accepting both the light and darkness within her. I think they really did a good job concluding it, especially when it had to happen at the moment when she had to face her friend, right? Just another sin that she'll have to carry. But it won't just only be a burden to her, it will be a lesson for her. I thought it was really cool how they did it. And like I said, this completely, 100%, completely makes up for what they did with Stigmata. Because again, it's like, I don't know exactly what they did with the Stigmata chapter. I can't tell if they wrote it like that intentionally because there was going to be something better here in the pilgrimage section and Echoes Adrift. But it's like, when we saw the whole thing with the Phantom Tracer and like some things that didn't really explain too much of some stuff, like how Bianca ended up with like the Stigmata corroding into like black and everything. It's like, that kind of like left me for a loop at some points, you know? But I feel like they really did make it up for it in spades in this later chapter. So I really did like it. This definitely was the step up we needed. And so far, it's like Pilgrimage, really great chapters so far. Because again, Selena's is really great. It's kind of like a Swedish like love story. And then Echoes Adrift was really like one about like the weight of life. Again, because again, we kind of saw that conflicting ideology of like what life was for both Chico and Bianca and where those paths led them here ultimately. Like Bianca moves forward, but for Chico, it's the end of the road for her. Not like as a negative thing, but like, again, at least in the end, she was still at least given the chance to control her own fate. I thought it was really great at that. So yeah, anyway, that's going to be the end of the stream for today. I kind of don't know where I want to go from this, because I don't know if I want to go to immediately to Dreams Rewound yet, because I don't know what this would be. Is it just going to be us accelerating on the path to the present? Like the present of where like Infinite Loop takes place? Because again, it's like both the Pyra Flame, or the Pyra frame, and the Hyper frame should be ready, right? But it's like, that would take place after all these events, right? Because Lucia did not have Pyraph until her own chapter, being Shaper's Ripples. At the start of that new chapter in the Pilgrimage section, it showed a scenery from To the Galaxies with the Star Trail frame, and possibly going to tell us a bit more about the River to Shine, as to maybe that's how the commander will realize where these visions come from. I don't know! But I will be kind of curious what exactly this leads up to, because again, it's like, this wouldn't be the Cradle of Deep Blue just yet. I feel like that's going to be later when they try to introduce like maybe a new S-Rank frame for Lamia, or something along those lines. Or maybe this will be a chapter where it's like, it's partially going to be that, but maybe we'll also deal with the tower. I don't know. Or maybe we save the tower for much later, because again, it's like, it will happen at some point down the line. But I just wonder like how it's going to be now that it's like unpredictable both on the side of the Commandant and from the side of Vonnegut. I think that's also what was really cool about this. We got to see all the effects it had, not only on this event, but what it can mean to alter things much later in the future. Because now anything about the tower is completely out the window. Nobody knows what can happen. There are uncertainties now, which means anything can happen. The possibilities are endless now, baby. I am excited for those kinds of surprises. I can't wait to see what they have in store for us. But yeah, overall, another really great chapter in Punishing Grey Raven. Like I said, the only problem is I don't really know where I'd want to kick back off, because, like I said, the next one I could possibly do. But I feel like I could potentially save that for now and work on other stuff here. Because, like I said, I do want to finish the interlude so that I can at least have this unlocked and maybe start it? I don't know. Because I do actually want to see how Wanchi ends up in this situation, but again, it's like I want to have a stream of at least a couple of these interludes done, because at least we would finish the Wanchi one. I'd probably do the Selena one, because again, we did like at least one of them for like how she ended up on that satellite station back then. And I kind of actually want to do the Bianca ones, because again, now that we finished the whole one with her Crypt School frame, I actually want to learn the whole thing about like with her and the priest, and the time of her in the Veritas frame, possibly like when she first joined the Purifying Force, and maybe even get more in depth about her relationship with Chico, you know? But I think they really did a great job emphasizing a lot of the characters more to an even greater extent that you actually did feel a lot more for them than you did before. Like I said, for Grace, for Chico, for Bianca. It's really cool. And again, it's like the commandant taking more charge now, becoming a more reliable force than before, because it's like, oh, we got lucky and survived, or without the help of everyone, you wouldn't have been able to complete these feats, or that it's not guaranteed, it could just be luck at times. So it really is also great to see that evolution with the commander, even though he doesn't realize the main reason for that. But yeah, I will save the floating records possibly for another time, because again, it's like we still have a couple other things to do. I will at least try to finish this, because like I said, at least I can try to be all caught up with main story before what's it called? Before a whole year has passed since I played this game. And then maybe I can see if I can make time for launchies, because the floating records don't take nearly that long for me to stream. And even then, it's like we still have the Yuta one. And then I still have to wait for the Discord one to be available later on, so I still have time for that. And the same thing can be said for Veronica's, which I really will be interested in, because finally another person who's like not connected directly to Babylonia. Y'all know I love those chapters, like when it comes to the Ascendants and everything. But like I said, I'll figure out how that goes. Tomorrow I'll see if I'll stream either Trails in the Sky first chapter or East 9 Monster Knox, because I probably will do at least one of those tomorrow and then one of those on Wednesday, because the grinding I needed to do for both of them is done. I think I'm ready to continue with main story for both. But again, we'll see how it goes. But anyway, let me give a huge shout out to Manala for showing up to the stream. Great chatting with you again, especially talking a bit more about like the differences between like how they develop story in Punishing Gray Raven compared to Wuthering Waves. But anyway, if you guys did enjoy the stream but are not already following the channel, please make sure to leave a follow. Much appreciated. Check out my YouTube channel where I post all the VODs. Subscribe to it as well. Join Discord, you guys not already. Links to all those are on the channel. But this has been Xander's Files. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. I'll see you guys next time. We're out.
あなたはもっと遠い未来のことを心配しているようですが、私の心配は目の前のこと。未来へ向かう前にお体を大切にすべきです。仕事は任せて少しお休みくださいね。